Ooga fucking ooga cunts, I'm fucking back.
That's right, cunts. Tonight, we actually have to cancel CNN. We have something far more important. The reintroduction of our old co-host, Wrath of Controversy, the bald guy with the sailor in the background.
Boo!
You're just sad that you didn't get replaced by a Mexican this time.
At least it would have been appropriate. This is just racist.
How?
This is
How
just racist. I don't know. You're a white guy. It's racist somehow.
I can do whatever. I'm white.
Yeah, basically, Wrath and I kind of spoke it over. Obviously, when he left, we didn't leave on awful terms, but well, we didn't part on the greatest terms.
Yeah, but, I forgot the condom. He didn't like that.
No, I was not very pleased about that at all. You were very. I've been considering calling it rape. I'm gonna call it the Daily Beast.
No. You knew when we started I didn't have a condom, so it's not the same thing.
I was drunk, and you know that.
You're always drunk, and you know that.
That is not a viable excuse.
Every time was rape. Every time was rape, Brad. Every single time.
You were fake news.
You are a self-admitted multiple serial rapist.
Oh, come on. I never raped your Captain Crunch. I am not a serial rapist.
Sometimes it tasted weird.
Wrath raped me. Pound me too. Hey, I don't care what you say.
Oh, God. Here it is. Pound me too is going to be a thing because Robert doesn't know what a hashtag is.
Yeah, I'm 35. That's a motherfucking pound sign.
That's the sharp symbol for music. Educate yourself, shithead.
So that now could be a hashtag pound me too.
But we have obviously recently seen a large drop in our viewership, and it basically coincided with when Wrath left us. I can't see any other possible reason that people would have stopped watching. It has to have been the fact that we don't have this bald motherfucker right here.
That's true.
I reached out to him, and I mean,
literally offered me everything he's been paying his co-hosts.
Yeah, I did have to give him a significant pay raise.
So you're the reason why I'm broke now. Okay, fine. Now you're cunt of retro.
The reason the rest of y'all don't make nothing.
Fucking cunt.
He makes. What's 3 times 0?
5.
He's making triple what I'm making.
I don't know. All I know is when you try to divide by 0, you end up with things like Schmeckle.
It's true. When you divide by 0, you end up with an impossibility.
And when you divide 0 by 0, you end up with our viewer size. Undefined.
I'm pretty sure if you just divide 0 by 0, you get some undefined thing that might be infinite.
That was the joke. That was the joke.
It might be infinite.
Yeah, but it's not. We're pretty sure it's not.
We have numbers we can look at. It's probably not infinite.
Yeah, I mean, we have numbers we can squint at, but let's be honest, when are either of us sober enough to where math's a good plan?
Hey. I'm the one that's known for drinking, but I have never fought the stairs.
Question: what is sobriety?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, what is sobriety?
I believe that's a mental condition.
Is it like a mental illness?
Yeah. It's like I'm pretty sure I would try to get treatment for when that happens to me, but I make too much money to qualify for Obamacare.
No. Sobriety is that wonderful state where we get to record all of you guys embarrassing the shit out of yourself and laugh our asses off and hold it for blackmail.
You know what? I was about to say something nice about you, and for the life of me, I can't remember now.
That's okay. I'm not exactly a nice person, so it works out.
No, neither am I. So, I understand why you hired this one, but I also understand why you gave me her paycheck.
I haven't hired her yet.
She's an intern. Yeah, none of you are unpaid slaves. You're interns.
That way I don't gotta give him money. It's great.
We have a question from Zell in the chat. Who is the bald fuck?
And I actually answered
So go ahead.
I am your new god.
The bald fuck is Wrath of Controversy, my new and old co-host. He is my third.
Fourth.
Let me put it this way,
Of my list of friends.
guys. Let me put it this way. If Schmeckel's Rihanna, I'm Chris Brown.
Oh.
One time he punched me in the face, but I still love him.
One time,
What's the fucking cheekbone between lovers?
What's the few?
Well, I mean, about $2,100 in an awkward conversation with the ER nurse.
That was her fault. She didn't need to look pretty afterward.
Yeah.
Hey, some people just like it a little rough, okay? Could have just been foreplay.
Well, I mean, that's what I tried to say, but the officer had a different opinion. So now I can't go back to Canada.
Well, 1 second. We got Zell Blastia in the chat. He says, "Oh, Wrath." And that boring co-host everyone was happy to see go. Zell Blastia, how would you like to come on here right now? We will turn this into the fucking the fucking midnight kumite.
The midnight Kumite.
Do it. Zell, get on here. I'm gonna link him right now.
I can guarantee you. Look at this man. He shaved all his hair off. He had the choice to grow a full head of hair.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Thank you for the
Hi,
compliment.
Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. God. I really want to see the Disaster Artist now.
Oh, let me just say, me and Zell saw it in theaters. It wasn't that good, but it wasn't that bad. It was like,
It
man,
had some laughs.
So it's a bad movie about making a bad movie, is what you're telling me.
it's a movie you don't really have strong opinions on. You can see it in theaters, not really regret it, but at the same time think, hey, was this really worth it?
It's
So Galaxy Quest.
Tommy Wiseau.
Galaxy Quest is amazing. Don't you dare say that again, you whore.
Galaxy
Galaxy
Quest
Quest
was
is wonderful.
hilarious.
So, Brockus, what you're saying is it's the perfect Netflix pick. Like, you pick it on Netflix, and you're not at all like, oh my God, you're not going, I just wasted time. You're going, oh, that was funny. It was worth my time.
Yeah.
But on
No.
Netflix-
It's I might occasionally laugh while plowing this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, basically.
Dope. I'll be able to cover up the fact that I laughed during the queefs because the show was on and it's a comedy. I love this. This is
My
great.
hetero life mate is in the chat saying truth bombs. Galaxy Quest is perfect.
Yep. Mark says, I want to see a movie where Tommy Wiseau plays James Franco in his Rise to Fame.
That would be hilarious.
That would be pretty good.
Like, okay, please tell me he's gonna do the exact same inflection for any scenes that involve Marky Mark. I'll just be like, "Oh, hi, Mark."
Did you, if you saw it in theaters, did you see the after credits scene where Tommy Wiseau walks up to James Franco as Tommy Wiseau?
Oh, that.
And he's like leaning on the wall. It's like, why are you leaning on the wall, man? I don't know. I'm just leaning on the wall. Like, mind your business. Like, what are you? Like, they're just trying to out Tommy Wiseau each other.
This sounds like a very boring conversation.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Like I'm the boring co-host. Me? Really?
Apparently.
Like, go back to
I'm just
jail.
wondering.
Shut up,
like, the
worst
conversation
Brockus.
was boring. I just thought it was funny that interaction. It was like Tommy Wiseau meeting Tommy Wiseau. It's just
You never go full chair. You don't explain why something you don't have in front of you is funny. You never go full chair. I will in a short amount of time.
Lick my taint. And
By
don't
the
use
way-
the rough side of your tongue this time.
How many times do I have to say, now that you're no longer paid, you cannot afford me?
Hey, where's Brockus? Shut up. Better Brockus, what were you saying?
Did you guys know that Tommy Wiseau was actually in the movie The Disaster Artist?
Did you know that most of Wrath's payment came out of yours?
I hate you, Rat.
Yeah, you have to either be funny or have tits in order to actually get a paycheck.
I had
Wait. Nobody told me about a paycheck. Kadun, are you stealing my paycheck?
Once Cunt is gone, if I decide that you are an acceptable member of this fucking stream, then you will get a paycheck.
This
Not
is
a paycheck,
a,
an occasional transfer of a very small amount of money.
Cartoon
this is
cleavage
a
with
small
tattoos is a good
internship.
starting point, okay?
this
You're
is a
not quite
trial
paid one.
period for you, Ishtar. And if you do make the cut, so to speak, then you'll be getting my paycheck.
All of 3 cents?
We do have a very good point from Chirpy Poop in the chat. He says this bald guy needs to remove his head from his anus. Are there any thoughts, Wrath? Personally, I think if you stuck it up there every now and then, it would at least give you like a bald sheen that you could pass off as hair.
But that's what turtle wax is for.
I'm already okay, guys, keep this between yourselves and the internet here, but I'm already courting Turtle Wax for an endorsement, so stop fucking that up for me.
By the way, Turtle Wax, everything that the Cunt stream says is indicative of a Wrath of Controversy's feelings on the subject, whatever the subject may be.
Regardless of if he says anything.
Not only indicative, you guys think this is all improvised? I actually script every single line of the interactions.
Wrath writes everything they say up to and 1 second. Up to and including this.
Hold on, wait. It says right here to Wrath, why are you having me say that you hate turtle wax?
That seems a little contrary to what you were trying to do there.
No, he's just trying to not look like he's courting them by saying he hates them, so that way they'll want to talk to him.
So he's
negging them. He's negging them. I get it.
Ren, stop going off script, or I'm gonna stop. Or I'm gonna stop allowing you to be on my show.
That was a good line in the script,
one
though.
line
Just
he
saying.
had to improvise, and he stuttered the fuck out of it. You see that? That's why he scripts everything.
Yeah,
exactly. It's got to be written down. Like in real life, I don't have a stutter at all.
Wrath, I have a problem with what's on page 45 for me.
Stuttering
every so what's your problem about 45? Because we already worked out 43. So what do you have with 45 now?
I am still not okay with 43. You have me saying a couple things about the Jews that I think might get me PewDiePied.
Hey! I told you to use a weird inflection, German or something, to make it harder to tell what you're saying.
Oh, say it in a German accent.
God, read the asterisks. God.
I'm just not so comfortable with you having me.
I'm sorry, what?
I was muted because Wrath decided to be a cunt.
No. It says right here.
Don't yell at your betters. He is the new second in command.
But Brockus, it says right here. Wrath must mute Brockus.
Yep.
Yeah, it says in fucking. Did you even read the script?
I have a question about the rape scene between me and Brockus on page 23.
Yeah,
I don't think people are going to.
That's 123, dude. That's 123. My printer was running out of ink. I'm sorry.
But it conflicts with the hate fucking with me and Zell on 45.
I don't care what page it's on. I'm not saying those things while they're going through this. You don't pay me. I don't make enough money for that.
Kadun, to repeat your line from the last page, please.
Let me see.
The trial period bit.
Self-Lastia has a very good point. By the way, Wrath, I like the way how you even script some of the shit into the live chat and have paid out in there to give us cues.
You think I pay Phoenix?
If these streams were comparable to televised programs,
if I ever paid Phoenix for anything, it would be to donate to.
Motherfucker! Shut the fuck up. And according to the script, you told me to say that.
Yeah, I really don't know why I let you play off like you're in charge for the scripts. It's a bad.
It was a poor choice. If I were you, I would have given it to Samaj, but Zell Blast just says
that's what happened. You have Samaj's lines because he didn't show.
Shut the fuck up.
Would be on Hulu, and what Wrath does would be on Crackle.
Good delivery. Good delivery, Kadam.
I once heard of Hulu. One time. It's like a Netflix thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, except for you have to pay a lot. Yeah, the minimum subscription you still pay for. You still get ads, so you're paying to watch ads.
Okay, but what the fuck is Crackle? I mean, I guess that's probably the point, but like, what's What's Crackle?
It's
A waste
another
of my
TV
effort.
service. It's another TV service thing. It doesn't have nearly as much stuff on it though.
There's a reason there's only 2 lines about that service in script.
Hmm.
So anyway,
So anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed the April Fool's joke. This took longer than I was promised. So
I still can't believe you scripted such a long pause before that. I'm just saying, why did you script us to have such a long pause?
because he is terrible at his job.
Why are you putting awkwardness in the
Nothing
script?
this is what happens when you start. This is what happens when you start the script drunk and finish it high. But yeah, this is and happy April Fools, Zombie Jesus Day, whatever you want to call it.
Zombie Jesus.
I mean,
Wrath is not back. Wrath is
God no.
I mean, we've sunk in subscribers, cunts. But we've sunk in views. But I'm not. That.
Oh, and everybody,
There
don't
are
forget
limits to which I will not sink.
don't
And
forget to go
controversy.
swoop up.
Stand up and take a bow.
Oh, God damn it!
Who are those limits?
God
By
damn
the
it!
way,
That's supposed to be
I just gotta point this out. Jesus isn't a zombie; he's a lich.
Yeah.
You know what? No, he's neither. He's a Bethesda NPC. Okay, he got stuck in this pose for hours, and then took 3 days to respawn, and then randomly glitched into the sky, never to return.
That is probably the best description I've ever heard.
Hey, everybody! Don't forget to go swoop up your fucking chocolate bunnies, leftover chocolate bunnies for like
Shut
75%.
the fuck up, Robert. You're like 40.
Robert, you do realize
What?
the script I sent you was a
You
joke,
are
right?
never too
Yeah.
old for chocolate bunnies.
Oh, you didn't send me the right script? Fuck you, Wrath. I didn't even get the right script.
I literally pretended to be writing a live show while drunk and emailed it to you. So April Fools, bro.
Ah, you got me.
All right, so I did already have to speak with the ogre one time today, so I'm gonna kick Wrath off. Very good having you here. Do you have any last things you wanna say?
Do we care?
Struggles with Cunt.
He said it quick because he thought I was gonna boot him, but
Yes.
I hit the button too late. He was entirely right.
All right, we are back to something better now that Wrath is gone.
At this point, do your CNN shit.
All right.
I didn't bring stories. I'm just gonna sit here and supervise.
Oh wait,
Does supervise mean sit there and drink yourself into a drooling mess?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm on the same page.
yes.
Supervise means he gets drunk.
She
and
understands me. I love this girl. She understands. We're gonna become very close.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Where's
She
my?
hasn't got a paycheck yet.
I'd gotten a picture of Spider-Man for you. He was
I saw
outside
that
somewhere
picture of
doing,
Spider-Man.
doing terrible things because Spider-Man is a terrible human being.
Mm.
Da, 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 da.
DeVio in the chat.
Spider-Man whips out his junk in front of a policeman.
No. I know I'm in the background, but DeVio in the chat says that Schmeckel is a cunt. Would any of my valued co-hosts please defend me on that point?
Nope.
No, he's not, because do you see how small he is? There's no way he could take a pounding like a cunt can.
It's quite true. If I got smacked by a dick that was equivalent size to me as the average dick to the average pussy, I'd probably die.
Well,
we have
got
a $5 super chat from American Phoenix. Hey, guess what? I'm a Christian, and unlike so many people I've seen, I'm not going to be offended at the jokes because freedom of speech. You do your thing. Free speech, motherfucker.
Thank you, American Phoenix. And in response, I would like to point out that the Jesus myth and the Phoenix that you named yourself after are equally likely.
Coke and vodka was a bad idea. The vodka takes all the Coke flavor away.
All right,
I told him
Broncos.
that, dude.
Thank you for the $5, American Phoenix. Now let me
Yeah.
just shit on your lifelong held beliefs. More money.
All
please.
right. So what do we have in respect for the news?
Shut the fuck up, Kadun. Brockus is in charge.
Well, he's not doing his goddamn job, is he?
I
So
was
somebody's
I
gotta
was
be the
taste
fucking man.
testing. I was doing it. I wanted to drink for tonight's show, so I'm taste
was
testing.
licking his
Drink
sword.
for
Bad
this
idea.
tonight's show, and I'm not doing my job, and so I'm going to get Kadut yelled at because she's trying to pick up my lackey.
Ishtar, you're promoted. You're in charge. Run this shit.
Some beer.
Go.
over this, but-
Yes.
Oh boy, are you guys in for a disappointment?
Okay. Love you, Kadun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's show. We have CNN, the Cunt News Network. We've got myself, Ren, Ishtar, Kadun, and Rob bringing you the news. Wrath, of course, is pretty much kicked out of here.
Who's surprised?
And Schmecko will be obviously in the background getting hammered and I don't know, chiming in whenever he feels like telling one of us to shut the fuck up.
Sing Africa by Toto.
I have that ready to go right now. I swear to God, do not tempt me. Anyways, tonight we've got some questionable stories. We've got some funny stories. I'm still a little mad that Rob took one of the stories that I had found this morning, but I'm going to let him have it because I found one that pisses me the fuck off. So let's jump right into it with Rob. Why don't you go ahead and give us that funny Florida woman story?
Okay, we have. Let's see. Do I need to present, or this is my first CNN here?
Just go ahead and read the article, the title, and everything else.
Okay, we have the title. Florida woman fails to put car into park. Car rolls into pool with husband and child inside. Cops say. So this is just allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, the husband and child were inside the drowning car. A father and daughter in Florida ended up taking an unexpected dip in the pool on Tuesday after the man's wife reportedly failed to put the family car in park and it ended up rolling into the water. Fucking women drivers, am I right?
This is why I don't drive.
I am an excellent driver, so fuck you.
Yeah, but you're not from Florida. So those
That's
two
true.
combinations.
I am about as far as you can get.
Just
from
a
Florida
recipe
and
for
not be in
disaster.
Alaska.
Wait, you're as far as you can get from Florida, but not from Alaska?
But not in Alaska.
Oh, okay. So, the West Coast.
Yeah.
And or China.
Are you in Narnia?
What?
Are you in Narnia?
No, they kicked me out after I took over.
Oh my God! Everybody, the White Queen is in our stream tonight. This is amazing! Yay!
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just fucking jump in here and be like, was that it for the Florida woman who can't fucking drive?
Are the husband and kids
we
okay?
have some quotes. We have let's see. We have a new meaning to the term carpool. Mom thought she put the car in park when she ran back to the apartment to grab money, the sheriff's office said. Apparently it didn't go all the way into park. Well, apparently fucking not. The Honda Civic ended up rolling into a pool at the apartment complex with the woman's husband and daughter inside. The vehicle was almost fully submerged. The sheriff's office said despite the plunge into the pool, everyone was okay and no injuries reported. All the injuries on the child were from previous beatings. Not this
Rob,
part.
if there were no injuries, this is not news.
It's on Fox News, okay? It's a Florida man article.
But
Suck a
it's
dick.
woman this time.
Well, the injuries, no, Schmeckle, you're forgetting. The injuries came later when the husband got a hold of the wife.
And I presented this article to you earlier, and I believe your exact quote was excellent. Suck a dick.
What I say to everything I respond to.
Well, then suck a dick. It's not my fault.
Don't take it as confirmation that I approved. It's just me responding to the fact that you've said something. Yes, excellent.
Well, I have breaking news to announce because Object of Hate pulled my attention to it. And Tiangong, Chinese space station, meets fiery doom over South Pacific.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, I was looking at that the other day. I heard that they were hurtling towards Earth.
Mhm.
Now they have.
Now I guess they made it.
They landed.
Yeah, Chinese prototype space station, whose name translates as Heavenly Palace 1, met a fiery end in Earth's atmosphere today, breaking apart and burning up in the skies over the southern Pacific Ocean at about 8:16 p.m. EDT, according to the U.S. Strategic Command's Joint Force Space Component Command. Fuck, that's a fucking name. The JFSCC used the Space Surveillance Network sensors and their orbital analysis system to confirm Tiangong 1's re-entry, U.S. Air Force officials wrote in statement. Some pieces of the school bus-sized Tiangong 1 almost certainly survived the fall, but the odds that they caused any damage or injury are extremely small. You had a less than 1 in 1 trillion chance of getting hit by a flaming chunk of the Heavenly Palace, according to experts with the Aerospace Corporation. So, all right, no injuries there, but
Nah.
That would be a fucking badass obituary, though.
right?
Destroyed from above by the Heavenly Palace.
Right?
That is definitely one way of saying that you're
Wait,
gone.
wait, wait,
That's
wait.
out for
So,
you.
some did anybody get hit?
No.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause,
But
that was the prediction.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's only been one person that's ever been hit by debris from re-entry, and it didn't even injure them. They were just kind of struck by it.
I hope they
But-
went out and bought a lotto ticket the same day.
Yeah, no shit.
they
Well,
give
I
a
mean-
warning saying that if you do manage to find such a chunk of Tiangong 1, don't pick it up or breathe in any fumes emanating from it. The space junk may be contaminated with hydrazine, a toxic rocket fuel, experts have said.
Okay.
Or do that shit and get the symbiote on you.
Why not? There wouldn't be a
could
whole lot of.
definitely think, if you there's the chance this is from, like, I guess the wherever the thrusters, the rockets and shit were on. You have a chance of getting one of those parts if you go to pick it up. Yeah, that could be deadly as shit.
Well, I would assume in an explosion that rocket fuel would kind of like spread
Yeah, it
past
does
beyond
kinda make
the
sense.
rockets.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that those parts would probably be destroyed. But I mean, I'm not a chemist or a physicist or any of those things, so I have no idea.
You're just a drunk with opinions.
I am not even a drunk with an opinions. I'm just the first thing.
You're half right, Brockus.
It's just the way he said it reaffirmed the first half of it. So
I am not
This
a
is
drunk
making me
with an opinions.
I'm just a drunk.
all right. So wow. Okay. Explosions.
No, but what do you think about how this should be dealt with? I mean, I know at one point the Americans had a spacecraft crash down in a small town in Australia, and they got hit with like a $400 or $500 fine for littering. The Australians sued them for littering.
Okay.
That is you gotta admit that is pretty chill of the Australians. We drop a space station or a satellite or whatever it was in the middle of their country in a town which is populated, and all they get is a littering fine.
Well, no,
Yeah.
like that they didn't hit anybody. Nobody was. I mean, I'm sure people were endangered. I don't know how close to a town it was. I just remember they were hit with a fine for littering.
That's still pretty amazing.
Look at
And
Knuckle with his wine
like,
glass.
it's not a wine glass.
That's a
I feel like if we don't respond to the Chinese, in some way, because you said it crashed down on American soil, right?
On Australian soil.
Oh, it was Australian soil again.
Oh no, the Chinese one? No, I think that crashed above China, right?
you said
Wait,
South
it can't have been
Pacific.
above China. It said it was good.
It was in the
crashed
South
in a
Pacific.
populated area.
Okay, it was.
And
in
that
the south.
country is fucking shoulder to shoulder Chinaman.
Okay,
They need to invent real
I
Pokeballs so
feel
people
like,
have some space.
I feel like one of the global organizations should probably be monitoring. Hey, you fucked up. Your space thing didn't work. Like here's a penalty type thing, right?
And maybe something a little stronger than a $500 littering fee.
Yeah, well, I feel like that was Australia just taking the piss.
Yeah.
More than likely.
I feel like whoever was in charge of that decision was just like, well, fuck you guys, you fucked up. We gotta clean this up.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Here's the fucking cost to clean it up. Slap on the wrist. At least at least now it's recorded that you guys had to pay for this shit.
All right, next item of news. Who's up?
Let's move over to one of reading Ren's stories.
Ooh, okay. Do we want Trump news or fake news?
Start with
What's
fake
the
news.
difference?
The fake news.
Fake news doesn't act. This fake news actually doesn't involve Trump.
Oh, let's do that one first.
Fake news may soon be illegal in Malaysia. Who gets to define it? So basically, lawmakers in Malaysia may soon vote to approve a fake news law.
Ren, before you get into this, you can start over in a second. Object of Hate says, when Cosmos 694, a Russian radar recon satellite, crashed into northern Canada, it spewed radioactivity all over the place. The bill to the USSR was apparently 6 million Canadian. I don't know anything about that, but that's a lot better than $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, I don't know if the U.S. shit that crashed on Australia was radioactive. I feel like you pay extra if your space shit is going to give a bunch of people cancer.
That's only fair.
That should probably add to your bill.
If it's just some junk, hey, pay the littering fine. If it actually causes cancer, you need to pay up a bit more.
Exactly.
Just a little bit.
Even in the case, the one case where somebody was actually hit by like space junk, I think there was some compensation paid.
I would hope so. I mean, if you get smacked by something from outer space, you probably want someone to pay the hospital bills at least.
He didn't have any injury done, but I think he was still paid something for the fact that something fell out of the sky and hit you, and it was our fault.
I'm not sure if I should be taking Schmeckel more seriously or less seriously with the way he's holding that glass like he's some sort of intellectual.
How is holding my glass up like this like it's just the comfortable way to put my elbow?
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's just the way you're holding. I swear to God, it kind of gives me this image. It's like, yes, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I've researched this for the last 30 years.
Yes, I
Either
am.
that or really bad.
Seth's trying to pull off the sexy vampire look.
Oh my God, see me now. Fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula and shit.
Well, I was thinking more along the Key and Peele fucking sketch.
Here we go.
That shit was killer.
Now you can't see it.
Now I need to get Schmeckel some blue lensed sunglasses at some point so he can really pull off the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
So, Ren, what was the article you were going to read?
All right. Lawmakers in Malaysia may soon vote to approve a fake news law that human rights groups and experts say would significantly curtail freedom of expression and democracy in the country. It would subject both journalists and ordinary internet users to up to 6 years in prison for disseminating content that the state deems misleading.
Wow. So who determines?
You know, it's
So many
Vegas fuck,
questions.
just like everything. God, dude. People
It's an
open
interesting
your eyes,
concept.
people.
It is an interesting concept because it gives you the idea that like if someone is going to blatantly spread misinformation such as like different online sites and things like that, like a couple of examples would be like Vice or BuzzFeed, if they were writing articles that they themselves know are fake and misleading and spreading misinformation about something or someone that they personally don't like, then it could be, you know, it would be deemed illegal and, you know, all that shit. The problem is the vague wording, because at that point you do have to ask, like Ishtar pointed out, who the fuck determines what is and is not actually fake news? Obviously, if somebody comes out and says this is all slander or libel because this is not true, well, do we go by what the person is saying? Because then there would have to be an investigation.
Slander or libel or defamation, and you can prove that that's the case, certainly it should be punishable.
But
But
what is going to be?
what if you're like they were talking about citizens too? So what if you're like liking and sharing an article that is deemed to be fake news? Does that count? Like that's what seems scary.
No. The people publishing it should be the only ones.
Well, Ren just said that citizens were included, right?
Well,
It's not
here's
just British.
here's the thing from the article. The bill defines fake news as any information, data, or report that is wholly or partially false. This also applies to images and audio, including content created by anyone, anywhere in the world that affects Malaysia. Under the proposed law, the government could prosecute someone even without offering any evidence that the alleged falsehood caused harm.
Okay, yeah, that still seems like it only applies to the person who publishes the shit.
Yes.
We reread what it says about who it applies to, Ren?
Yeah,
it
that
applies.
little bit is real bothersome.
It applies to journalists and to citizens.
Okay, so how are you going to avoid getting corruption going on here? Because it will. Everyone knows that governments are the most corrupt freaking thing in existence.
Oh yeah.
How easy
let
are
me.
they going to be able to make use of this and go, oh well, I don't like this journalist, so I'm going to slap him with some fake news.
Yeah.
Even if it proves out that the journalist in question is innocent, you're basically still destroying his entire career.
No, yeah, that's something that happens even over here. It just happens through discrediting them rather than through law. But in terms of whether or not it should be punishable, let me make clear. I mean, for journalists, if you are found to be being slanderous, libelous, anything like that, you should certainly be punished. As far as fake news goes, maybe you should be punished within your industry.
Yeah.
For citizens, still libel, slander, etc., should be punished if it can be proven that it's libel, slander, etc.
Well, the biggest problem a lot of people are taking with this law that's come in place is the fact that fake news is so vaguely defined to even include partially false, which means if someone puts out something that does have some truth to it, but maybe the angle they're going at is wrong, they could still be punished. Also, this law allows police to make warrantless arrests under certain circumstances.
Yeah, and
that in itself is a whole terrible idea right there.
Yeah,
that part is absolutely ridiculous. Warrantless arrests should certainly be permissible in certain situations. But those would need to be situations that require urgency. Like
you have warrantless arrest all the time.
The type of shit you get swatted for.
Yeah.
Certainly permissible in those circumstances.
Yeah.
But in terms of relatively small shit like this, basically saying something untrue, lying should not be something that evokes an arrest without a warrant to prove that you've actually committed these crimes.
Well, the fact they don't have to show any evidence. Also, this is the same government that has gotten criticism for basically cracking down on artists and cartoonists who were using humor to criticize the government. So people are kind of objecting to this under the idea that this law could be used to clamp down on basically anyone who has a dissenting opinion by deeming them fake news.
It's like the what's his face in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Any law that pertains to speech could be abused. That doesn't mean that some of them aren't good ideas at their core. Whether or not they should be implemented is a different question. I think if something like this was properly phrased, left not at all vague, like very specific, we already have slander, libel, defamation laws, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like an unnecessary addition, considering we already have those.
Well, this is in Malaysia.
Samaj is asking. Samaj is in the chat, by the way. He's asking, is
Whoa.
it Ian Miles Chong from Malaysia?
He lives in Malaysia. I don't think he's from Malaysia.
Yeah, I don't think he's from there. But in Malaysia, it's an entirely different case. You need to look at this shithole country and realize that they're basically always going to be a shithole. They're not a country that's set to advance anywhere within any of our lifetimes. I think I'm the youngest of us. I'm gonna look at like maybe Kadant or Brockus or Rob and say they're probably gonna be the longest lived of us. None of us will live to see any of these shithole countries become good countries. No, we're not going to see something like the American Revolution, the formation of Canada, within other countries during our lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance I'm going to die before everybody.
We're probably going to see the destruction of a couple of them.
No, and that's the thing. A lot of it is location. A lot of these Middle Eastern countries might be good if it weren't for the neighbors. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They might have eventually gone somewhere. But you know, you got the good Middle Eastern countries, and then you got all the not so good ones that are constantly at odds with them. You go down to South America, you get a similar thing minus Islam. You get countries that are constantly feuding. And it's not, I'm not making any racial statements or even any cultural statements. Just those areas of the world are not going to improve to the point we're at. Within, I'm the youngest of you, and if I lived out my full, average lifespan, I'd hit 80 or something, right? So that'd be another 55 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see those countries become good in that time. They are going to continue to be the shitholes until. Look at the good countries, other than Europe, which they're good countries, but for the most part, like the UK and shit, at least, they're good countries, but they bowed down to the whole refugee thing really quick. They ended up with a lot of issues because of that shit. They're all small countries. You look at the ones that are really, let's say, free. Yeah, you get the U.S., you get Canada, and even though they're free in a kind of bigoted, shitty way, you get Russia. Yeah, you do get the UK, Ireland, England, shit like that. But obviously with a lot more issues than we face here in our countries, they skip the gun issue that you Americans have. But so do we Canadians. They have all the immigration issues and all that shit. And I feel like a lot of that is because a larger nation, even though it's harder to take control of, ultimately, obviously, more powerful, right?
Yeah. There's a lot more power base, a lot more people.
And I feel like that's the direction South America should go. Not so much for the power of being able to take control over others, or the power of being able to dominate the earth, or any of that shit. American shit. But for the power of being able to actually advance their civilization. England and all those countries did it with small populations. But England and those countries did it by essentially being what we would call a country.
Speaking of England, do you want to move on to the next story, which actually does circulate around it?
Excellent.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Science.
this is one that I actually found while scrolling through Twitter earlier. It was one that I didn't actually show anybody in the group chat earlier. But London murder rate beats New York.
Fucking withholding. I thought I could trust you. I thought I could trust you, and you're coming at me with surprises.
Well,
Rockus, you're hurting his feelings.
I don't like
You
surprises.
need to apologize and make him feel better.
He likes when we're talking
That's
about it
right,
every time.
Tell him exactly where to kiss me. And you don't need to tell him. He knows where to kiss me.
I'll cradle the balls, stroke the shaft, and swallow the gravy later. But for
There
now,
you go. Good boy.
London murder rate beats New York for months as stabbings surge.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is actually something that recently happened on, what was it? I think it was within the last 24 hours. They basically broke this particular news. London became a bit more like New York City in February, but it's not a distinction to be proud of. The city of Big Ben and the Tube overtook New York in murders for the first time in modern history as the British capital dealt with a surge of knife attacks. So, yeah, perhaps maybe chill out with your let's ban guns concept. I don't know. It's an idea. Let's see. Sunday Times reported 15 people were murdered in London against 14 in New York. Both cities are very diverse with large populations. London has 8.7 million residents and New York has 8.5 million. In March, according to the British publication, there had been 22 killings in London versus 21 in New York. A massive decline in crime has helped to transform New York City. In 1990, of 2,245 people were murdered. That's a fucking lot. Last year, however, that number dropped nearly 90% to 290 murders. Oh, that's good.
Holy fuck. That's a big difference.
It just goes to show that one way or another, humans are going to kill each other, regardless of how it is.
Yes, it doesn't matter what the murder weapon is. People will always find a way. And the argument that Tim Blake gave on one of his recent videos, again, I disagree with a lot of what he said in that particular video, but there were certain points he does have a valid point to. And one of them was that guns are literally designed to do nothing else but kill. You don't use a gun to open a fridge. You don't use a gun to skin a yak or anything like that. A gun is literally designed to kill, whereas a knife can cut, can skin for, this or that. Knives are very versatile. They're very useful. It's one of the reasons why I fucking love knives and blades and shit. However, that isn't exactly the point. You see, with a gun, a person who thinks that they can actually threaten you with a knife, because some people are dumb with knives, might be a little more intimidated because, a bullet travels a lot faster than a human can move. And if a person is actually really good with their gun, their handgun, then chances are the person with the knife is going to die much faster than the person with the gun. Of course, again, this is based off of if they don't know what they're doing with a knife. But
Fair
still,
enough.
It prevents might be like you could be going up against somebody who's got 200 pounds on you, and all of a sudden your gun levels the playing field. You're not like an
You're not
all of a
sitting
sudden
duck.
you're not the victim you absolutely would be if you did not have the gun.
No, yeah, but this article just proves the fact that people who want to kill will always find a way. They will always find a way, whether it be with a car, a van, a knife, a gun, gas,
Acid.
a pencil,
A rock.
acid. It doesn't matter. They will always find a way to kill. So blaming the actual weapon is never going to fucking matter.
What I want to know is how is this fucking if places like New York have seen a 90% murder drop in fucking 20 years, what the fuck are people flipping out about?
I'm
Holy
sorry.
fuck.
Blaming the weapon is dumb.
Mhm.
Obviously, when people say guns kill, they don't mean the guns kill. They mean that people use guns to kill.
Obviously.
The whole guns don't kill people, people kill people thing is dumb. Because the argument with guns is not guns themselves go out and kill people. It's that guns make it a hell of a lot easier to kill people.
This is true, but most of the time,
Echo.
most of the time when it's guns killing people, like when it's like the heinous crimes, you'll also note, and I used to live in Chicago, a lot of times those weren't the legal gun owners. Those were the people who bought guns off the black market.
Mm-hmm.
Those weren't the law-abiding, I'm going to do a background check and get my gun type people.
My husband and I own 4 guns, and I can promise you, no matter how much the customers have driven me crazy, I have never actually considered grabbing my gun and shooting them.
Yeah.
No matter how much I wanted to strangle them. I was far more likely to grab the nearest pencil and stab their eyes out.
Yeah. And that's part of the argument is that some people, again, murderers will always find a way. Crime will always find a way. Again, blaming the gun is never going to work because once you've taken the guns away, you suddenly have people going around stabbing people to death in London. It's just,
And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't England know as a giant spike in acid attacks too?
Actually, the story does continue on with another form of death where, let's see, they say the total numbers of murder in London has fluctuated over the years, but it's risen by 38% since 2014. Ex-Russian spy poisoning a new era of warfare, UK officials say. So, yeah, not only do they have to worry about random people stabbing them, they also have to worry about Russian spies poisoning them.
Oh, that sounds like such a lovely city.
Right? Like London right now is slowly turning into what New York was in, say, the 80s. It was basically just this gigantic murder city. And I live in an area that is considered to be the one of the murder capitals of the Southwest. But, well, the city, not so much. It's just the region I live in.
Yeah, trust me, from Chicago. Chirac and Inglewood are their own thing. No one goes there for a reason.
Yep. Murder is murder. But yeah, this is actually one of those things where I just find it kind of hilarious because like you will at some point see a bunch of anti-gun people or anti-terrorist people on YouTube who are actually from London, England and shit, and or just England in general and stuff, and they keep just saying like, oh, the murder rate in London, the murder rate in England is so much lower than America. America is the most violent country in the entire world. How dare you? And then we have statistics that backs it up and says, nah, homie, there's actually a lot of other countries that are way more violent than us. And right now, you're kind of beating us in stabbings. So what does that say about you? I don't know.
And then they always they pull those comparisons, but they don't take a look at the fact that In this little
Brockus.
bitty island in the middle of nowhere.
I just got back. But they're beating you in stabbings. But how do the numbers compare between shootings and stabbings?
As for shootings and stabbings, I'm not 100% certain on that.
Are the stabbing rates extraordinarily high, or just
no? They
the
just
States?
beat us by like 1 or 2 stabbings.
Okay. So their big thing that's up is stabbings, while your big thing that's up is shootings. Meanwhile, they're beating you in stabbings, but only by a couple.
Schmeckle, you're overlooking one thing, and this is a problem with how news is reported these days. You may think, oh my God, there's this massive amount of shootings in the U.S. Reality is they're constantly talking about it's a small percentage of the people who are dying from being shot.
It is a small percentage. It's a larger percentage than most other countries, but it's a much larger percentage than most other countries. But yes, it is a small.
But we also have a larger population. So larger population.
A larger population accounts for larger numbers, not a larger percentage.
But it would account for the more percentage of it happening. Not to mention most of the gun deaths that are reported.
It would account for larger numbers, not for a larger percentage.
But also, the problem with that statistic is they take suicides into account. And suicides with a gun should not be in the same statistic as people killing.
Suicide should certainly not count as homicide, but they also count in the statistics of other countries.
But if you want to talk about people killing other people with guns, you really shouldn't bring up suicides into the numbers to pad the numbers.
You should certainly just look at homicides, not suicide. Suicide is not homicide. If you kill yourself, it's not murder. But those numbers are also factored into the numbers with other countries. There's no denying you guys have a much higher rate of homicide with never mind just homicide with guns, gun crime in general. And I mean, I'm not exactly in favor of gun control the way a lot of people seem to want it, but there's certainly an issue, and it needs to be fixed.
Yes, but again, like the point I brought up when you were gone, and even Jen Max brings up in chat, it's 0.0000 something 1% of gun owners who kill and who own legally who kill in the U.S. You're talking criminals who aren't getting background checks, who own those guns illegally to begin with.
That's an excellent point. It is certainly people that are skirting the law. But in these other countries where it's harder for people to get them legally, surprise, surprise, they are produced less because with less demand, there is less supply. And it makes it also harder for them to be illegally acquired. That's why you see less gun crime.
But instead, you have surges of other
that it is people
crimes.
who are acquiring these things illegally. The fact is, countries with stricter gun control laws have less gun crime.
Yeah, good luck implementing that in the U.S.
No, and that's one of the things it's one of the things that kind of bothers me about the whole argument. But in the States, gun control can be implemented very slowly to minor degrees. Yeah, you cannot give the states gun control like Canada or the UK or any of these other countries have. Foundation. You've had basically the opposite coded into your constitution.
Oh, Godfather's bringing up another good point in chat. Australia has gun control laws, and they have higher gun crimes since 1996.
And they'd be probably about the only country. Everybody else has benefited from it.
Yeah, but he brings up a good point. Home invasion rates have skyrocketed because the criminals are the one with the guns, not the people who are law-abiding citizens.
No, and that is a great part of the argument. There is that fact. Criminals are not going to be stopped by laws against buying guns. They're going to go and acquire them illegally.
This is where that Chris Rock joke probably makes more sense. Make
No,
guns very easy.
it's a
Make
very,
bullets
very
to get.
hard issue to deal with because what it comes down to is that criminals will be criminals. But you still need to prevent against. You need to make it harder for them.
Why
I
don't
can
you
guarantee you that, like
Making more guns
what was it we
illegal
came
is gonna
down
make-
to? Brock is like 150 at the minimum, to buy for me to buy a gun if I were in whichever state you're in, California.
Yeah, in the state of California, it would run you about 150 to 170 at the minimum to actually get the license. Well, that's just for the gun itself, and I
Doesn't
would
that not
say
include the classes?
no, because then the classes adds up to another 150, so it's closer to 300 for the entire package deal. Because the classes themselves is going to be over $100, and then the license itself is only roughly about $50, $30.
So,
depending on what you want.
the class and the license, $200, one time payment.
Yeah.
And then every gun after that, say,
Well,
$150.
Then you still do a background check with most guns every time you buy a new one. They still run the different gun shops will still run your name through and do a full background check.
Yeah, you actually have to pay for the background check too, which is why it's so high in the price. But on top of that, there is obviously the waiting period, and the cheapest gun you can probably get would be somewhere around $100, maybe a little less than that if you found a really good deal online.
Even if we say $150, minimum price. You go out on the black market, you're going to be obviously paying a lot more because everything illegal costs more.
Well, yeah, it's a higher risk, but you don't have to go through all the other stuff. Like legally, if I was to go through everything, I would have to spend about $300 just to get a cheap handgun, 9mm, and get the license and the classes and all that stuff, the background check, and say all of that goes through. It's like I said, about $300 out of my pocket. Whereas I could go to some dude who's selling guns for like a higher price than they're actually worth. I'd probably walk away with I don't know, a 357 Magnum for like $280.
Yeah. And
you skip the price of all the legalization and shit, the one-time price of that. But each individual piece will obviously cost more. You ain't getting no fucking discount for the fact that you've gone through the process.
Yeah, but that's also a very illegal gun because the serial number has been filed out. The gun itself is not.
That's exactly the point I'm making. When you go the legal route, you get a legal gun. It costs you a bit. Costs you a bit of your time. When you go the illegal route, it's you're jumping through hoops. You got to find the right people. You gotta worry about the risk that comes with an illegal firearm. That's I think why gun laws drop the rate of gun crimes. A lot of people are discouraged by the fact that, hey, yeah, I'm a hell of a lot more likely to go to jail with this around.
Yes, that is true. But as Igor pointed out in chat, we've already listed, for people who are legal gun owners, and there are already laws on the books in the U.S., legal gun owners have to go through a background check, a full background check that even checks their mental health status.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through classes to learn proper gun safety. They have to invest money in things like gun safes. They have to invest money in gun safes.
Is checked, but by who? Because apparently it don't work all that often.
Oh, that's okay. That's actually from place to place. This is actually where I will kind of say we need stricter vetting laws and shit like that.
Well, no, that's what I would push for. I don't want you guys to have gun laws like we have.
Like state to state.
I want you to have no crazies with guns.
Yes,
State to state, it depends on how much they dig into your medical records.
like
But
in Texas, you would not be able to purchase legally any gun if you have ever gone to a mental hospital,
ever.
even for just a 72-hour hold.
If you've been in a mental hospital, no guns. If you have a criminal record,
Which is unfair
no
to people
guns.
which is unfair to people who were say slightly depressed, maybe due to
I don't give a
number
fuck.
of
If you have
factors.
depression, I don't want you with a gun.
What if it was someone who had depression, say when they were 14, and it's never come back since?
Yeah, or what if they get
depression
busted
is a
with
mental
weed when they're
illness that don't
15?
leave
And
ya.
that should prevent them from owning a gun their whole life?
What was the one you said, bro?
If they get busted with weed when they're like 15? And they have
No.
Oh, no. That's
Sorry, a proper criminal record with crimes,
It
not
has
any like violent
not
crime or
misdemeanors.
anything like that?
like
yeah,
violent crime,
misdemeanors.
drug and disturbance.
Fuck them.
Okay, just making sure.
No.
Anything bigger than a misdemeanor, you probably shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah, basically, if you were caught with weed at any point in your life, if you went to jail for weed, all that stuff, whatever the
You had
case
a
is and
felony
stuff,
on your record.
it depending on the severity of the actual case itself, you would probably still be allowed to actually purchase a gun because it's pot. But violent crimes, fuck no. Mental health issues,
One
fuck
second.
no.
We have actually 2 super chats from American Phoenix. So I'll read the first one real quick. It's the second one that appeals to me. He says, Arizona same-day background check. I walk out with my gun same day. I can buy ammo the same day, and I don't need permission from the state to buy it. That, to me, is an issue.
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and say this right now. I'm not a fan of Arizona and their politics.
That, to me, is a bad thing. You can just walk in, get a gun with none of the fucking checks or any of that. That's a bad thing.
No, that's still a check because they have a system. The problem is because background checks are state to state. One bit of gun, quote unquote, gun control I'd be for would be if there was a federal data bank that did have all the background checks. So yes, maybe you could have like a 5-day hold on a gun, but then at least you would know if they've ever been convicted in other states, not just in the state you're in.
I do agree that we need to have something a little more sweeping than we currently have, and we definitely need something that is steady. It's like having a concealed
standard.
Yeah, something standard.
You guys do have your whole states' rights things, and I do feel like you deserve those states' rights. You got them and all that. But you'd benefit from a little more cooperation across the board. But the second one from American Phoenix was, what about veterans with PTSD? If you got PTSD, no guns in your hands.
Yeah,
especially if it's not PTSD from a fucking war, or if it's PTSD from a fucking war.
Depends if it's being treated or not.
If you got PTSD and your PTSD relates to fucking bullets going off and you having a gun in your hand, no, you probably shouldn't have a fucking gun.
So are you saying my mother-in-law should give up all her guns then?
Does she frequently have fucking terrors and shit like?
No, she's been treated for a long time, but she's a legal gun owner. She's been treated for
PTSD.
She has a diagnosis of it. She's been treated for it for a very long time, but she's also a legal gun owner.
Oh, when was the last time she had a breakdown?
Been a long ass time, as far as I know.
You're actually misinterpreting what PTSD is.
Decade.
Probably, I'd have to ask my husband that one because Igor would know better than me. As long as I've known her, which has been almost 11.
Her last
well, then no, yeah, she's good.
Sorry.
She's done for 10 years without anything happening.
Probably
over
20 years ago.
Almost 20 years ago.
Almost 20 years. Yeah, she's good.
You're misinterpreting the actual what PTSD is, because it isn't just specifically designed for war. It just so happened that actual diagnosis.
No, I know it's not specifically designed for war. I'm talking. The question was about veterans with PTSD.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying that a veteran could actually walk away from PTSD just for simply seeing the death of a friend, not because any gunshot or anything like that, but because of the death of the friend from something, they could have developed PTSD. But even then, if it is being treated, if they are actually fine, then that's okay. I don't see necessarily a problem with it. It just depends on the severity of PTSD.
I personally would not have guns in the hands of anybody who is not mentally stable.
I'm not a fan of that either.
Is not mentally stable.
The problem is the definition of mentally stable at this point in time varies so drastically from
you have
person to person, much less even the freaking medical ones. Okay,
if you have anger issues, you should not have guns. Never mind post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, and yet Vegan Gaines fucking
Vegan Gaines should not have guns.
He should not, but he does. That's the scariest part about it.
Vegan Gaines should not be allowed around sharp objects.
Vegan Gaines has a knife. He flaunts that in his
Vegan Gaines got so mad at a cartoon bear that not only did he make threats to blow his fucking brains out, but he also costume. He bought a bear costume for the little fucking bearing parody.
I think the most terrifying
bear
thing
costumes cost like almost $100. I've looked into it.
I can't actually tell if Vegan actually has just airsoft guns that were designed to look like a real gun, but he removed the orange tip and everything like that, or if those are actual legit real guns that he just doesn't put the magazines in. And
I have a feeling that Vegan Gaines does own guns.
He should not be allowed to.
It seems weird for a vegan who's all against, he's not one of the health vegans. He's one of the don't kill animal vegans. It seems weird that he'd be into guns. Like those are two opposite ends of the political spectrum. But I do believe that both are true. Or neither are true when he's a really good troll.
We got another super chat, $2 from Gem Max. Okay, I got PTSD. I want in this conversation.
I want to end this conversation.
One second. God Bother says, so people yell. Oh fuck! I'll be right.
What the fuck was that?
I think he's got a piss. I don't know. He probably
What
said
the fuck? He just was like, "Hang on, everybody, shut up! I'm going to say something." And then he goes off half a sentence. And then
all right. This topic is actually riling up the people in the chat, so I think we should move on to another topic. And since today is the day that is today, April Fool's, I figured I'd go with a most likely April Fool's article that actually describes and explains the actual birthing of where April Fool's Day comes from. So where does April Fool's Day come from, and why do we celebrate it? Very good question. The first day of April is all about making your friends and family look like mugs. but why was the tradition? Why has the tradition been around for so long in this country? Where does the Festival of Foolery come from, and how does it vary around Britain? Well, around the UK, the fool is known by various different names, including a noodle, gob, gobby, or nobby. I did not know nor need to know all of those phrases, but cool.
Nobby sounds cute.
It does, right? It's like, stop being a nobby. All right.
It sounds like something you'd say to a little kid, like, "Oh, you're such a cute little nobby," or something like that. That sounds like adorable.
Yeah. It sounds like a more endearing name for somebody who's being overly cute or some shit. Like they're just trying too hard.
What the fuck was I saying before I stepped away there?
I don't know.
We were trying to move away from the subject. It was
before it led to people yelling.
PTSD.
So people who yell, fuck it, their car's flat tire on he said 40-centimeter highway. So I mean, I guess he means like a frozen highway. Has anger issues and should be banned from owning guns. No, obviously not. I mean, people with diagnosed medical who have been diagnosed with anger issues.
By an actual psychic,
not people who get angry. Yeah, and the Rua Cat from Outer Space has a good point. Topic is riling up the chat. We should move on.
Yeah,
I don't know who said
This
that,
is
but
why
don't
this
be a
guy-
pussy. Oh yes, topic is riling up the chat. We should move on. This is why the cunt stream stays small. Don't back away because of fucking. Is this what you cunts do when I nap during your streams?
I don't know what was said. I walked away for a minute, and apparently that was said while I was gone.
I suggested it because like Gem Max seems pretty upset in the chat. With
I don't
everything.
even know who the fuck that is. I don't care if he's pissed.
I don't know why the chat's getting so riled up.
Gem
I'm bored
Max-
as fuck with this
Gem
topic
Max-
already.
Gem Max brought up in chat that he has PTSD and he was getting pissed and wanted to get in.
Mhm.
That was what
Okay,
was said.
Gem Max, you have PTSD. I don't think you should have a gun.
Oh, chat fight.
No, I'm not. Bohica Drop Short says Smegma seems to be an expert in mental health. I am not. I don't think people who are mentally ill should have guns.
Specifically, Gem Max gave us $2 to say, okay, I have PTSD. I want in on this conversation.
Well, that's up to Brockus. He runs CNN, not me. I'm here as a guest tonight. Plus
A
the
guest on
producer,
your own
so I
channel.
still outrank him, but yeah, you know, it's his choice.
No, I got you. All right, how about this? I'll let the chat decide. We will get to that super chat in just a second here, but I will let the chat decide. Do you want Gem Max to come in here and talk to Schmeckle about PTSD, gun control, and all that stuff? One in the chat for yes, two for no. For fuck off, move to the next subject. And then for $5, American Phoenix. You know what's funny? I have been diagnosed with depression. I'm not seeking any type of treatment because of people wanting to take guns away, my guns.
That's a good point.
Okay, and
You're
Alarm Jihadist
incentivizing mental
says,
health
wait. Can autists have guns, though?
I would say autism.
I say probably no.
No, I would say yes because autism it has a spectrum.
Yeah,
There are
I
varying
guess
levels.
it depends where you are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
There
Like-
are people who have, because here's the problem with autism. Autism used to be a very small disorder, and then they started throwing other diseases, other things in, make it seem like autism was a bigger problem than it was. Take Asperger's, for example.
Asperger's is autism.
Asperger's
is
used to be its own thing, though, because it really is just emotionally they don't get things, but functionally they can do just fine. They can go to college, they can get degrees, they can get jobs, they can hold down jobs, pay their bills.
one
are
second.
very high
Kyle
functioning.
the Dead. Kyle the Dead is in the chat. Asking for the link. I got Brockus, Cunt, Ren, and Rob here, who are all hosts of the stream. I got Ishtar, who is on her probationary period. I would like all of you know. I would like for all of you to know, rather. Kyle the Dead. Don't send him an invite. Don't do it. He's not on the ban list. Just don't do it.
All right. So far, I have a tie when it comes to the ones versus the twos. So if it's going to be a tie, then I'm not going to send the link over to Gem Max. But
I say we move on to
What were
the
the two
article.
options? Was one yes?
One
one
was
yes, bring Gem Max on. Two is no. Fuck off. move to the next.
You're not tied no more.
Okay. There we
All
go.
right.
I've got three more. All right. So I will send the link over to Gem Max.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I was saying with Asperger's, it used to be its own diagnosis, and it was not on the autism spectrum because mentally they can still function. It's just emotionally they didn't function well, and then that got thrown into
That's
autism.
basically most of what the high end of autism is. That's why they were thrown into that.
But I'm saying with autism, it was the definition for the spectrum disorder was it was enlarged by other things being thrown into what could be considered
But
autism.
I mean, really, if you look at it, the spectrum argument is kind of dumb. They look at it based on similarities on the differences between us and them.
Hey, Max, what's your Twitter handle?
The severity of those differences, but They could easily be classified as different illnesses based on the severity.
Yeah.
It's something we've done with a bunch of other diseases. It could easily be done. I feel like autism makes it just a little easier than you're high functioning, you're low functioning,
But I do think it is unfair to some people who are high functioning, who used to be their own disorder, to suddenly be grouped in with autism, and it's like, you're autistic. No, I'm not.
If I was a high functioning autistic, I would be pissed about being lumped into the same disease as really low functioning autistics.
Mhm.
Like my old man, when I was young, he used to have he might still have a coworker, but his coworker had an autistic son who, like, when I was maybe 15, 16, was probably about 20.
Mhm.
And he was autistic to the point where he would freak out and like dig his nails into his dad and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, if I was a high functioning autistic who like just had some issues with social skills and shit like that, I'd be pissed being lumped into the same category. At the same time, I can see why they've done it and how it simplifies things.
Yeah, it simplifies things. At the same point, there probably are high functioning like high school kids who are lumped in with those kids, and the parents are asked, does he need special ed? And they're like, no, that's not his diagnosis. Don't put him in special ed.
I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong. At this point, they base it off of the chemical differences in the body.
Not some high schools. Some high schools
they apply it across the board.
Some high schools automatically hear autistic, and they automatically group that kid into special ed. It's only until the parents fight for diagnosis, going, no, he needs to be streamlined and be in mainstream.
No, if my kid was put in special ed, I'd be pissed unless my kid was special ed. But we got Gemstar here.
That's Gemmax, but
Hi,
I don't know.
Gemmax.
Sorry. No, in the side chat it says Gemstar.
No, I know, but
Jim. How's it
Oh,
going?
you're an egg.
Hello.
Why are you an egg?
What was that?
Why are you an egg? Why are you a faceless body?
I don't know. I guess I don't have a picture.
Show your
Yeah.
goddamn face, Gemstar. Rob is sitting here. He's calling you out. If
I
you
don't
don't
have a
show your
picture.
face, Rob is gonna feast
Get an
on it
avatar
forever.
or a camera.
Hold on here. Let me see if I can find one. I thought I had one. Oh, it's on my
This headless
okay.
peg man does not cut it.
Okay, this is on my old profile. I don't know why it loaded up. It's not on my okay, hold up here.
See, 1 second.
That's it.
While he's figuring that out, we got Bruni in the chat. He says, I have Asperger's and I do fucking great. Should I not be allowed my basic fundamental rights protected by the Constitution?
Nope.
And that's
nope. I
again
prefer you
where
be
it
shipped off to an island.
it's again where it becomes kind of difficult. You guys definitely have the right to your guns and shit. When I talk about what should happen, I'm talking about an idealized reality of what should happen with guns, which is something we could have here in Canada. We could have in the UK.
Have you realized that the United States doesn't want to be Canada?
No, I know the United States doesn't want to be Canada, but I mean, that don't mean we don't have a few things that we do better than you. You remember 10 years before you guys, when we got gay marriage? We got gay marriage a decade before you. Because we had it beforehand. Does that make it a bad idea? No. And gun control, the way we have it, is not something you will ever have in the States.
Yeah,
because you have that.
I don't know how to do this because I have a picture up.
Dude, if it's loading, it's just Google. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about the picture. Nobody actually.
Just understand that I hate you forever until you get a picture.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, until you get this fucking picture, we're gonna spread you across the internet. You're gonna be a meme.
It's usually Doc.
You are gonna be the next Copper Cab. The next gingers have souls.
No. The thing is that he's gonna have to actually put the picture on his Google profile for this particular profile, and that's how the picture's gonna show up. But it's probably not gonna show up for a while because he's already in the stream.
Yeah, dude, don't worry about it.
You're
Alright,
gonna
so-
be the next Liz reptile.
I just
Fuck
want to
it.
say, for starters, I'm not mad.
in
Let's let
terms
Jem
of-
talk, guys.
Hey, 1 second. In terms of what they were asking in the chat, no, your rights should not be violated. You have those rights declared by your country, etc., etc. In an ideal situation, people with mental, I would say mental disabilities and other mental issues should not have guns. I mean, if I would not trust you near me with a knife, I don't want you carrying a gun.
Well, how many people do you trust near you with a knife?
Basically anyone. The average person will not
Wow,
take
you're
a knife and
trusting.
stab you.
Yeah.
So hi, Jem. Welcome to chat.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm not mad. I just want to explain that real quick. I'm not mad
Jem,
at
why
what
are
he
you
said.
so pissed at us? We're sitting here, we're trying to run a goddamn news show, and you're sitting in the chat pissed at us, angry, hurt maybe. And
No.
I want to alleviate at least one of those.
I'm just going to try to educate you on the matter of these vets.
I love education. I'm going to sit back and drink and listen.
These vets that are going around killing people have all, they're going to VAs and they're shooting up. They're only shooting doctors that have treated them.
Shooting doctors is bad. We
But I'm
need
not
doctors.
saying-
I said
But
I wasn't
I'm
going to.
trying to explain the medical what they do to for PTSD for vets is recursion therapy, which in some cases can be considered torture in some countries,
Mm.
and it's outlawed because it reliving the same experience day after day in and day out does not exactly make your life better. I mean, it's supposed to be, you relive it so many times you get used to it, and that doesn't happen. And eventually, for some people, actually a majority, it drives crazy. A mass majority. That's why I had to find a doctor outside of the VA.
I'll let you go on in a second, Jam. We do actually have Chairview in the chat. He's only physically crippled, but it's the closest person I know to a mental cripple.
Ouch.
I don't know many cripples. They're not my main friend group.
Oh, you don't go around befriending the crippled people around you?
I met the second crippled person I know today. I was on a stream earlier with a guy called Mr. Wicked.
Okay.
And he is already my favorite cripple. My
Right.
favorite online cripple, at least.
So, Jem, continue your thought.
I don't even remember where I was at because
You're talking about finding a doctor outside the VA.
okay. I had to find a doctor outside the VA to get treated, so I keep going. But I know a lot of people vets stopped going because the VA used to be full, and now it's complete. The VA mental health PTSD clinic is completely empty almost, and those who go have never been there before. And like I said, the treatment is ill-effective. It actually causes more problems, and the VA measures success by people who stop coming as well, which is not that who they say, oh, they're cured. They've stopped coming for 6 months. They must be cured. So
I do need to cut you off again. I apologize for this. It's the first time I've been live and actually here paying attention to the stream in quite a while. We have Eric Rune in the chat. He says, "Dear Schmeckle." Can any of you do a like Antoine's British voice?
I can do a British voice.
Excellent. Ishtar, can you read the Eric Rune comment in the chat that starts with "Dear Schmeckle"?
Dear Schmeckle, you look like shit. Stop drinking and take care of yourself. I don't even like you much, and I'm a bit worried by your appearance.
That was fantastic, Ishtar.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Great.
I'm a little turned on right now.
That's one of shit show.
Eric Rune, I agree with you entirely. I'm getting fucking fat. I've been drinking too much beer. It has been bloating me. I got a stomach going on. My face is puffed up. So from this point on, I have switched to vodka.
Schmeckle, I don't think people who wear as many man rings as you do should have guns. And if that damn's so faded, then so be it.
Well, no. At the point where I get to the point where I start to look like cellophane. I mean, he's fucking aging. I'll just cover it up like this.
He's a gorgeous man. Don't you say anything bad about Sophie.
We'll be all good.
Oh, there's Brockus freaking relaxing his throat to take the Sophane.
Oh.
Yes. I love Sophie.
You fucking
Oh, are you
bad.
cheating on your husband Zell there, Brockus?
No, Zell broke up with Brockus. Zell
Oh,
is too good for Brockus.
Zell is too good for Brockus now.
They just
Oh,
did
yeah.
that
Where
so they
did
could
Zell-
make up sex.
Where did Zell get that inflated ego?
No. It's not that Zell got an inflated ego. It's that Brockus proved that Zell is obviously just way too good for him. And Zell's like, oh,
Cherview
okay.
is pointing out my my ulcer issue. Why the fuck would you drink anything? Because the ulcer issue cleared up. It's gone, and now I'm working towards another one.
It's a miracle thing.
I
They
stopped
gave us-
eating. I stopped eating spicy food for a bit. Now I'm eating that again. I mean,
Can we
What-
just
what do you
pause to
consider
I'm
appreciate
a man of
Lindsay?
primalurgist, Cherview.
What do you Canadians consider spicy food? Now, just keep in mind, I'm from
This.
the land of green chili.
This.
Spicy food, the end hot sauce.
Yeah, it's made with what are they called? Carolina Reaper peppers.
Oh my god, that just makes me crazy.
Unfortunately, this bottle's empty, but very, very, very hot.
You clearly never had ghost peppers before.
Carolina Reapers are something like 10 times as hot as ghost peppers. Ghost peppers were the hottest pepper in the world like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then they got overtaken by the Scorpion Maruga, and now the Carolina Reapers got the top spot.
Right. Clearly, you know more about hot sauce than I do.
Did we get through all the articles, by the way?
No.
No,
Not nearly.
we've only
Next
gotten to like
article.
2.
We've gotten two. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Barely any.
Hey, one second. We have what I think is actually the fake Sinatra in the chat. But send him the link, Brockus.
And he's complaining that you took his wrench.
The fake Sinatra? Like,
Okay, he's complaining about the fact that I took his wrench. It might be the real Sinatra. Somebody invite Sinatra.
all right.
Also, Sinatra, you got your wrench back.
I don't think Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Follow. Oh wait, he does.
oh, no,
Of course he follows you. Brockus, you are an up-and-coming YouTube star.
He follows me too.
All of these people know who you are.
I don't know who the fuck is that.
Sinatra
Better
says.
Who's that?
Sinatra says.
No,
Wait.
I'm asking who the orc is. That's Better Wrath, right?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no. That's original Wrath. He got a new avatar.
Oh,
Wrath is back as a co-host, so we gave him Brockus' avatar.
Oh wait, actually, Sinatra does not follow me. Unfortunately, Sinatra, DM me.
Ren, do the goddamn
I'll
job.
send it to him. Sinatra follows me.
Fucking Sinatra don't follow me. Piece of shit.
Let me get the link. This.
I love when Sinatra talks about gun laws because that dude actually he really studies all his shit.
Wait, yeah, he does. He follows me. Okay. But I don't take back the piece of shit. He's still a piece of shit.
That's because Sinatra doesn't love me.
All right, link sent.
He also doesn't know who I am. But still.
Trippy Hoop says he's gonna start his own stream and call it Not the Cunt Stream. Trippy Hoop, that might be a good formula. Do that
I'm not
shit.
the country.
Pull it up. That may be the promise the people are looking for. So Jem,
Hey.
Jem, you
Yeah.
said you are a. Actually, I don't know if you said you're a veteran, but you said you have PTSD.
Yes, I am a veteran and I do have PTSD. I also have traumatic brain injury.
The first one would make me not want you to have a gun, but the second one would probably be the icing on the cake there.
Absolutely. I don't want to own a gun. I don't need a gun to defend myself. I have a bow and arrow, but I've never used it. I've never threatened anybody with it.
What's your opinion on whether or not you should be allowed to have a gun?
I think that there are plenty of vets with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries that own guns and don't go around shooting people. Again, it is a low number.
Well, I know.
more
I
criminals.
know the numbers are low percentage-wise, but should we be taking a risk like
More
that?
violent offenders are killing people with guns than vets are with guns. With guns.
I'm not talking specifically about vets. I'm talking about people with
mental issues.
not only PTSD in general, but
you know what? Everybody has a mental issue.
I think if you're killing people, then you automatically have.
There you go.
So I think that pretty much qualifies you.
I mean, I wouldn't want a gun in the hands of a fucking narcissist. Never mind a.
Well, that's most police officers.
Well, yeah.
But sorry.
I kind of want Ren to put her sunglasses back on because
I want my hands in the. I want guns in the hands of people who are balanced, capable citizens, not.
When you want, here's an interesting topic. Tom Cruise, who's jumped up on a couch saying, "I love women." Blah, blah, blah. You want him to have a gun?
He should not have guns.
Well, he does.
As soon as you said Tom Cruise, it was like, no, do not put guns in that man's hands.
I don't really know if he owns guns or not, but
I don't want to give him a gun because of his teeth.
No, I would give him guns if he would shoot out his teeth, because I don't know if you've noticed, he don't got like these two teeth. Like right here, they're to the side. There's
that's exactly why I wouldn't give him a gun.
I don't want to give him a gun because he follows Zemu and all that crazy shit.
Also, Scientology, but mainly the teeth.
Anyone who follows Scientology or Mormonism should not have a gun. You fucking psychos.
Or Jehovah's Witnesses.
Wait, did we do the
Muslims?
Because you guys reminded me of the aliens article.
It's
I want to do the
Jehovah's
aliens.
Witnesses are the least violent people there are.
I think we should
like
only
people
allow
with
guns to people that act, look like, and believe the same things as me.
Wait.
And I don't think even those people should get guns.
I think only orcs
Because
should have
I can
guns.
guarantee they'd misuse them.
Mormons. Here's an interesting fact about Mormons. They are highly sought out by the FBI because they are loyal to the United States to an extreme.
Well, 1 second. Shut the fuck up. I want to see if this is actually the real Sinatra.
Jews.
Okay, it's Sinatra.
Ian, double check.
He said the secret password.
Send the link.
If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna suck Sinatra's dick for a few minutes.
I gotta.
Okay.
I have to,
Before we get into guns, Sinatra, Brockus will suck your dick for a little.
I gotta bring in the scientist. I need a scientist as backup.
Are you bringing Aiden Paladin, isn't it?
Okay, crowd.
He's my scientist. Yeah, I need the
God
academics.
Okay, you know what? Bring in Aiden. I'll allow it
somebody
this
with no
one.
cream
I'm
into
gonna do
the
my
stream,
presentation, I
Sinatra.
swear to God.
Well, while you're doing that, Ishtar, go ahead and talk to us about fucking scientists trying to find life in Venus.
Yes, I actually have that article pulled up because I found it to be very interesting.
Yes, you have that article pulled up because Cunt sent it to you and said, you will talk about this tonight.
There's like a
Don't
whole
lie to
bunch
the
of
audience.
articles listed here. I only pulled this one up because it was interesting. Is there life adrift in the clouds of Venus? In the search for extraterrestrial life, scientists have turned over all sorts of rocks. Mars, for example, has geological features that suggest it once had and still has subsurface liquid water. Scientists have also eyed Saturn's moons as well as Jupiter's as possible havens for life in the oceans under their icy crusts. Now, however, scientists are dusting off an old idea that promises a new vista in the hunt for life beyond Earth, the clouds of Venus. Let's see.
The clouds of Venus.
There are
The
crab
clouds?
people living in the clouds.
Shackle, put your sunglasses back on.
I can't. They hurt my head.
Okay, we'll just pretend you're putting them
They are
on.
not wide enough for my face.
All right, well,
In a paper published online today, March 30th, 2018, in the journal Astrobiology, an international team of researchers led by planetary scientist Sanjay Lamai, something like that, of the University of Wisconsin-Madison Space Science and Engineering Center, lays out a case for the atmosphere of Venus as a possible niche for extraterrestrial microbial life. Venus has had plenty of
I will. I'll be back momentarily. If she doesn't become interesting, Rob, Sinatra, anyone else, I give you permission to take charge.
I
Well,
find this stuff interesting.
Well,
I do
American
too.
Phoenix for $2 while we're in the mood for interrupting Schmeckle.
so
Says, damn it, Alicia. Alicia? I don't know. Say something so they know you're here.
Eh?
Who?
I have no
Somebody
idea
in
what
somebody in the chat. She says hello. Okay, continue, Ishtar.
Why would he need to give money to us to do that? That
No, don't question
seems
it.
insane
Just
to me.
take the
Robert-
money.
Robert, do not question it.
Thanks for the $2. We appreciate it.
He's giving us money. You shut your
Shut
whore
up.
mouth, Rob.
If they want, they
There we
want to
go.
pay
All
us.
right.
If they want to pay us money in order to talk to someone else in chat. Let them do it.
Just take the money, okay?
Take the
Just
money.
Shut up and take the money. Venus has had plenty of time to evolve life on its own, explains LeMay, noting that some models suggest Venus once had a habitable climate with liquid water on its surface for as long as 2 billion years. That's much longer than is believed to have occurred on Mars. On Earth, terrestrial microorganisms, mostly bacteria, are capable of being swept into the atmosphere, where they have been found alive at altitudes as high as 41 kilometers, or 25 miles, by scientists using specially equipped balloons, according to co-author David J. Smith of NASA's Ames Research Center.
Wait, before you continue,
Uh-huh.
Alarm Jihadis requests that you do the British accent. So do you think you can read the rest of this in the British accent?
I can absolutely do that in the British accent.
I would like to point out that Chairview asked us to roast him, and Sinatra beat any of us to it by saying God already did.
I mean, it's always easy to roast a vegetable.
Oh.
All right, Kyle the Dead says, check your DMs, Schmeckle. How much do you want to bet it's him asking to get on like he's done throughout the night? And I've continually, come on, man, be cool. It looks like he wants on.
All right, continue, Ishtar.
There's a growing catalogue of microbes known to inhabit incredibly harsh environments on our planet, including the hot springs of Yellowstone, deep ocean hydrothermal vents,
She
toxic...
sounds like female
Tardigrades.
Antoine. I don't like it.
No, she sounds like better Antoine. Okay, you let her go. I'm
Better
hard.
Antoine.
Continue.
So can I just take a stab at where this is going and maybe save us all a little bit of time?
Yeah, I would much prefer for Sinatra to speak.
Are they going to say? I know you do. Are they going to say the tardigrades might be in the fucking waters?
No, actually, I believe I do actually I've read the study. I believe that the explanation, though, if I can take a guess, wait, I think I read this. I don't know. I read a lot. They think that they could potentially be extraterrestrial because there's no other reason for which these tardigrades would exist at such a high altitude and near anti-oxygen ready environment.
Yeah, the tardigrades could survive fucking anywhere.
Yes, but no, not entirely anywhere. But there's no other reason for them to be this high up in the atmosphere. How else the fuck did they get up there?
I don't believe your avatar shirt.
Tardigrades are so small they could probably get pulled up with evaporation.
Sure, I've just heard that argument. That well, that's the what is it called? The astronaut theory. What's it? The fact that the Earth was, or the idea that the Earth was seeded from extraterrestrials.
I've seen your latest videos. You're clearly Daredevil. I'm just saying.
I mean, maybe a little. Hey guys, by the way.
Your T-shirt
Just
doesn't
popped in
fool
here.
anybody.
You can blame Sinatra.
And I think solve
It's
that
very
article.
nice to have you, Aiden. I've realized a certain trend with you and Sinatra doing shit together. And
What you
yeah.
talking about?
I've not noticed, so I don't know
gonna
what you're talking
say I like it. Sinatra is by himself very entertaining. But having a woman to bounce shit off of makes, especially an educated woman.
He has the echo thing.
Well, thank you, Schmeckle. I thought that was going in a different direction.
And
Oh, he was talking about you. Oh, that's
Robert,
awesome.
he's not. Robert, he doesn't only.
No,
count
I'm
like
not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of Aiden as far as a lot of her opinions and a lot of her.
I heard
a
her
lot of
opinion
things
about
she
peanut
says
butter
go.
today, and I was disgusted.
But her and Sinatra work,
Robert's team
work
peanut
very
butter.
well together.
You, that's
I am team
horrifying.
peanut
It's
butter.
all about Team Cream. Oh my god, this is
How
horrifying.
dare you?
I'm Team Cream.
It's team
That's fine.
peanut butter
Peanut
for
butter.
the win.
This is
No,
I'm
you make
surrounded by
Sinatra
horrible
more
people.
entertaining, and that's a good thing since he gets shut
Could-
down every week and needs to continually.
The
What-
fucking.
So wait, hang on, what
Hi,
happened?
Zell.
This shit just got
Hi,
fucking
Zell.
interesting because I saw Sinatra and then I saw fucking
Aiden Holiday.
Aiden and
Zell, just
I'm
because
gushing,
interesting
I'm gushing
people
right
showed
now
up
'cause your
doesn't
stream
mean you're
actually got
invited.
good, motherfucker.
Zell only came to fanboy out.
Yes, absolutely. Sinatra, I love your shit. Aiden,
Well,
I love your shit.
I'm
love
gonna
your
go ahead and
background
ask
music.
Raucous,
I'm
Ishtar,
gushing like fuck
Dunt,
off.
Gave Zell the
Rob,
link.
and Ren to continuously mute Zell.
Who gave Zell the link? I always get the
Who gave
fucking
Zell the
link.
link?
You got it.
I have a quick question. What do you disagree with me on, Schmeckle? I mean, it could be on anything. I mean, I'm a conservative. So is Sinatra. So
I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember anything at this point.
He doesn't like peanut butter.
I don't really like watch your channel. Earlier
That's cool.
today, you did a stream with Sinatra. There
Did.
were what was it? There was something that was really conspiracy sounding. Like oil type shit.
Government overthrow shit. I think
Yeah, something about the leftists wanting to overthrow government.
yeah, probably. I don't. Well, I don't
that
trust
type of shit.
anybody.
You're more on the fringe than I am.
I absolutely agree with this. I am a absolute far right conservative. So you know what? Though I appreciate people being civil about it. I really do because so many people
as far
cannot
as
be civil.
opinions and shit go, I disagree with some things you say.
Just what if you actually like are interested. I mostly do educational videos actually. Quote educational.
But again, I don't watch your shit. I've seen you on streams.
Aiden,
Meme streams.
I actually found you because of the video you did on comic books, and I kept watching more and more of your videos and just got fucking addicted. So
I'm really surprised. Thanks.
Your first video, your first
yeah.
video that I saw was the one about like the leftism psychology, and a breakdown of like a sort of mental illness that might propagate the SJW kind of.
Couple and
shut the fuck up,
to the
Smith.
mic. No, just closer to the mic, bud. You're quiet.
It's a data dump, you fuck.
So what did
Son
you?
of a bitch.
What did you disagree with me about, Schmeckle?
No, I was saying I disagreed with Aiden.
Right.
You said you wanted to talk to me about guns.
Oh, no,
really?
well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought that's why we had
guns,
Sinatra
I
on here,
think
and we were talking about fucking
we
Venus or
vastly
some shit.
disagree on.
What's your
As
position?
far as guns go, I think that there's no way of taking guns from you guys, but I think that your stance on guns is your country's stance on guns is the wrong one.
So what stance would you like?
But it
to
works
see?
for us.
I'd like to take the stance of one of those countries that has.
I would just like to say that Putin is not speaking for the rest of the Americans on this show.
Yeah, I would like to look at like the UK,
The UK, whose gun crime is up 50%.
Gun crime is up 50% since certain things happened.
Since certain, types of
You
people
do have
started going
to
around.
factor the rest in, but I'd like to look at the countries where gun crime is low, and look at why that's the case.
So next time you look at these countries where gun crime is low, look at their overall gun crime, then look at America's gun crime, cut it down by 95%.
Also,
Because
you might
that
want to look at
95% you're cutting away from is the legal gun owners not committing gun crime.
I would also really highly suggest that you
I realize that
take a look at Argentina and
you can make the
Honduras
argument
and
that
Mexico.
the most gun crime comes from people who have illegally obtained guns.
But
You
in
realize a good portion of
where-
illegally obtained guns weren't even bought in the United States. They're shipping
in countries where gun crime, or sorry, not gun crime, where guns are easy to obtain for the average citizen.
Right.
And
So what should be
in
the
this-
right of the citizen then to protect themselves, knowing that the people come in with illegal weapons? Look at the gun crime rates in countries like Mexico and Honduras and Argentina, where they have banned weapons, and yet we find that actually gun crime violence has escalated.
I'm not saying you should ban weapons. Here in Canada, over in the UK, weapons are not banned. There are just limitations on who can get them.
They are here as well, though.
There are, but they aren't working.
A bunch of people.
They are working. Trust me, if they weren't, you would really know, because 150 million.
They weren't. You would really know, because you're in a country where that would happen. You have widespread firearms. And again,
25
I'm not
countries,
saying
highest murder rates in the world, in the U.S. ain't.
I'm not saying that any changes. Well, actually, no. I am saying some changes should be made to U.S. Gun policy. But there's no taking the guns from Americans, and there shouldn't be taking guns from the Canadians, the British, etc. But in America, you guys can't even get to a point that we have here in Canada.
Ban all
Your
autos.
constitution is against the type of control that we have. Man,
we also had a very
you can't go
different-
against your constitution.
Our country,
Right, and I would fight to the death to defend it.
Oh yeah, you can't go against that constitution. I understand that.
And by the way,
I-
everyone in the chat.
My argument is not that you guys
Oh, sorry, I don't have much
should change necessarily. It's that you would have been better off without the shit in the first place.
Well, without the shit
I'm
in the
not
first
sure
place,
why.
we would not be where we are now.
Yeah, without the shit in the first
country.
place, we'd still be fucking sending money to the Queen.
Would you? Would you? Yeah, because
Yes, this is part of the reason.
we started from the same people, right?
Well, let's be honest, though. We only got.
The British founded Canada too,
And
right?
you
Well,
guys
yes,
have
and you were-
stupid French in there.
And also, you guys were not released from. I mean, and you're still kind of somewhat considered, as I understand it, like you were released, but there's some kind of weird connections between Canada and
the
the
patronage
UK.
we give to the Queen is a respecting. It's not illegal.
Oh,
Well,
it's
yes. But hang
gotta
on,
pay the Queen or fucking vig.
we don't pay anything. The thing is that.
Yeah,
And
you
this
don't
is after
pay
the imperialism, after the end of British imperialism. We fought a revolution against a tyrannical government. And
Yeah, and we fucking asked them if we could be free, and they said yes.
Yeah,
200 years later.
Are a nation of cucks, you fucking leaf.
200 years later.
200 years later. Wait.
Canada.
200 years later. 200
Canada.
years later.
They couldn't afford you anymore.
1867.
Mom, can I go
was
spend the night at
Confederation for
America's
us.
house?
1860
200
okay,
years
100 years
later.
later. I'm sorry. Okay,
You guys were
Fucking
free.
Canada.
In
I really-
1687.
Mom, can I go spend the night at Canada's house?
Who likes to spend the night at Canada's house?
Were you completely free in 1867, or do you not still have to pay some sort of tribute to the Queen?
No, we don't have to. That's
But
the
you do.
thing. It's a respect thing.
It's a
Okay, so we are now talking, yes, hundreds of years later, you still have some sort of sovereign, and you can say it's just a respect thing, but the fact of the matter is the United States fought this war to be sovereign citizens of their own right. We instituted the Second Amendment in order to prevent ourselves from ever having be in order so that we will never ever
I
be.
think you're a little
Schmeckle, shut up.
confused.
Let her fucking respond.
I'm sorry.
We're not a colony or anything like that.
I mean,
We are
kind of
our
were
a
own
colony.
sovereign nation.
But you
we
were
just
at one
said
point a
please.
colony, and my point is, we like
Yeah,
you
so
asked.
were you.
You asked, so did Australia, so did many other countries asked to be free as the British colonial empire started to degrade. The United States fought for our rights to say we will not allow ourselves to fall under the tyranny of a government ever again. And this is why the Second Amendment is so important to us. And I get that other people don't get it. But to us, it is a fundamental right to say no government, be it a monarchy or a fascistic government or anything, will ever be able to tell the people what they can and cannot do, and it will be the rights of the people to be able to control their own destiny through the ownership of firearms in order to fight back and protect their rights.
No, I certainly understand that. There's definite reasons the Second Amendment exists, especially considering the previous government they lived under.
Oh, well, thank you for that, you Canadian poof.
What
needed
you
your
also
time.
At the
realize
same time,
when-
the Second Amendment, while a very, very valuable thing, was a poor decision, which we can't blame the people who made it for, because they didn't know how things would advance.
that's this.
I think you're
that's
full of shit.
not true at all. They
I'm
had
not sure.
that-
Schmeckle,
that-
there were machine guns by 1720.
They had the Gatling gun and the Puckle gun by then, so they had full machine guns.
They had the Sing and Jenny.
And
Stephen
you were
Crowder
actually
actually did an entire live stream about this exact subject.
Sinatra,
With
weren't you
those
even allowed
Gatling
to have a
guns
fucking
that
cannon?
they had back in the 1700s.
Weren't you even allowed to have a
What
fucking
was
cannon?
the
You could have whatever.
what was the accuracy like?
The,
Oh,
they-
What-
the
what's the
accuracy doesn't
accuracy
fucking
with-
matter.
Yeah,
It
it's a spread.
certainly does. That
Not really.
that's part of how deadly a weapon
it's
is.
as accurate as you can point it.
Do you
okay,
understand? Do you
Big gun
okay? Let me hang on. Do you understand what happens when you fire a cannonball? You are not talking about if a cannonball hits you. No. It is about the incredible burst of energy that happens upon impact. The cannonball itself is not what generally kills someone when cannon fire. We were talking about an era in which cannon fire was normal, and by the way, in which people were allowed to own cannons. And this is not even describing the machine guns that did exist at the time.
The cannonball is not what kills the people. I mean, if it hits a wall and there's shrapnel from the wall, certainly. But if a cannonball hits somebody, the cannonball is the thing that killed them.
They had chain
But-
cannon.
but-
I mean, I understand
you're-
there's some physics behind it where it may be the air that hits them beforehand or some shit like that.
No,
but
no.
it's cannonball strike that hits them.
It's upon it
No,
is
you
a
missed
force
the
of
point,
impact.
Cannonballs don't kill people. People kill people.
My
Exactly.
point is that like
Yeah.
there was
That's
extremely.
what I
we were
was
talking
arguing.
about- Do you understand that?
That's a ridiculous argument.
Okay, in the 1600s, the French invented essentially napalm. Do you know that? They would fire
Yes.
out of trebuchets. The thing is that we have an
It's long
incredibly
before that.
it goes. Yeah, you can go back. I think it's. I don't actually. Okay, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that we've had incredibly deadly weapons for a very long time. The point of the Second Amendment is to give the average person some ability to fight back against an organized government that has every reason to want to control you and destroy you, because they're tyrannical. And
hold
yeah,
on,
also
you
yes,
never-
the
you-
Romans
you never
they called
thought-
it the Godfire, or whatever. The basically napalm. Yeah.
You never thought for a second, too, Schmeckle, that the founding fathers didn't ever think, oh boy, guns could get better in the future.
No, I
you're
think
saying they
think
never fucking
certainly
thought that.
I
Absolutely.
think they certainly thought that. That doesn't make their decision the right one.
Okay, so
I mean,
wrong either.
the
You
fact
still
that they
haven't
may have
proposed an
thought of that
argument for why we
possibility
can't
doesn't
arm
make it.
ourselves.
I, for one, am
You still haven't
extremely
proposed an
grateful they
argument for
put.
why only the police and the military should be armed. You still haven't proposed one.
No, I
Yeah,
am
I,
not
for one, am
saying
very
only
grateful
the-
that there was
only
provision
the
we've
that
seen
allowed
military.
undeniable
itself
proof that the military
in the
and the police
Constitution.
cannot be solely
I'm
responsible
not
for the
at all
safety of
saying
citizens.
that those are the only people that should be armed.
Yeah, look at England right now.
I'm
They're all
saying that
crushed.
we should have a stricter control so that we make sure that nobody with a mental illness and nobody with a criminal record.
Okay, so here's
Okay,
Okay, that's the current.
Wait, stop!
That's the current
No,
case.
no.
Sorry.
Here's the exact thing I had with Kevin Logan when I had my conversation.
That's not the current
These
case.
are the laws. Yeah, no, those are the fucking laws. When you fill out the form, I'm gonna read it to you just the same way I did to Kevin. Let me pull it up here. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, you can read it out, but it's not what happens.
Okay,
We
and
can
look
tell
at that.
that from
So
the,
then you're
from
arguing
the
for
most recent
following the
shooting.
law. You're arguing for enforcing the law rather than changing it. then,
Okay,
Schmeckle.
so here are the 12 reasons.
No, I am
Convicted of a
I am
crime
endorsing for
punishable
both.
by more than 1 year or a misdemeanor punishable by more than 2 years. Fugitive from justice, convicted misdemeanor of domestic violence, unlawful user addict of controlled substances, state prohibitor, protection or has a restraining order on them, under indictment or under investigation, educated mental health, illegal or unlawful alien, federal denied person, dishonorable discharge from the military, renounced U.S. citizenship. Those are
that does not cover all mental illness. I can guarantee
you need
Zell, we've spoken about this before while we were alive. You could go and get a gun, could you not?
I cannot. Do you want to know the answer? I cannot.
I said Zell, not Aiden.
I can't.
No, I
I
can't.
have bipolar disorder. I can't.
I can't. See, Aiden, I'm right there with you. I can't. It's not bipolar. I have. I'll sort of dox myself here. I have MDD, major depressive disorder. It's very tough, long story. I can't get a gun, dude.
Do you understand? I have treated and managed.
It doesn't work the way you guys think it does.
It just does not. That's not. I cannot personally own a gun because of bipolar disorder.
Luckily, I don't want a gun. I'm not a fan of that, but I think you should be able to arm yourself if you want to.
I'm a lifetime member of the NRA and the Gun Owners Association of America, and I can't own a gun.
There you go. If the case is that you can't get a gun, if you have a mental disorder, and if you have a criminal record, I'm not talking like misdemeanors, but basically anything above that.
Did you hear what Sinatra said about the indictment? It's if you have been hospitalized over a mental disorder, you cannot own a gun. I had I don't mind talking about this.
It's only if you've been hospitalized.
I see. But do you understand what that means? It means if you attempted to commit suicide and went to a hospital, you can never own a gun. Do you understand?
Yeah, but that prevents suicides, not homicides.
But
if it's only people that have been to a hospital, then that's a little different.
Anybody that no, hold on. Anybody that's that unbalanced, the best predictor for maybe not having a weapon like that is when they're hospitalized as a what we call here.
Well, no, the best predictor would be when. I mean, that would be one predictor for the people that don't see a doctor beforehand. The best predictor would be those people who have been diagnosed with a mental illness.
The biggest, brightest red flag is someone being hospitalized for I want to die.
Yes. Thank you. That's how I was diagnosed with bipolar, was being in the hospital. So that means I go to the hospital and I get diagnosed with bipolar. I get on a medication regimen and I'm fine now. That was 3 years ago. I'm completely fine now. But I can't now buy a gun because I've been in the hospital over.
And a lot of people won't go to hospitals because of that.
That never has an end to it. Some of this shit, obviously, you can get to the point where, this ain't an issue no more. Back off. I'm saying people that have these mental issues and have never cleared them up.
It's part of the social contract that if someone close to you...
They've never seen a doctor who has said, this isn't a problem anymore.
It's not how it works, though. And in fact, the legislation that they're trying to enforce would now say that if you've ever had any kind of basic run-in with any kind of mental stuff, and this would include veterans who have been diagnosed with PTSD, even if they've been treated, even if they're seeking treatment, the people who are most well trained in the use of a firearm would not be allowed their own Second Amendment right that they fought for.
I'm going to be honest, I don't want to see heavily trained firearms experts who have freakouts and think that shit's going on.
That's not how PTSD works.
That's how PTSD
works. There are a lot of police that don't have PTSD.
That's how PTSD works in the movies.
I'm actually kind of an expert.
Freakouts do go.
I need
my great granddaddy almost killed.
Aiden, would you say you're a scientist?
I would say I'm a scientist. Let me explain how PTSD works really quickly.
The best kind of scientist.
Let me really quickly explain how PTSD works, okay? PTSD is a misprocessing of information into the left hand that is a long-term processing side of the brain of emotional information because the hypothalamus and the basically that is the fear processing center of the brain is incapable of understanding what is happening. Therefore, it shuts off communication between the two hemispheres. What happens as a result of this is that very quick processed information from the hypothalamus and the amygdala is misprocessed and continually shuts off the left-hand side of the brain, actually causing the eventual shrinkage of the amygdala and the degradation of the hypothalamus, ultimately leading to extreme exhaustion, all kinds of other like fucked up shit. The fact is, PTSD is not just I'm just gonna freak out one day. It has to do with redeveloping connections between the left and right hand side of the brain.
Explained a bunch of the chemical effects without
The fact, what I'm saying is,
explaining the actual.
what I'm saying is,
Listen, Schmeckle.
what I'm saying is, the left and right hand side of the brains can be repaired. The PTSD is actually a very treatable disease. It's something that we can do through something called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. There are other ways that we can get the left and the right hand side of the brain to recommunicate with each other. It is one of the most treatable psychological disorders.
You're talking about recursion therapy, right?
Yeah, recursion therapy or EMDR, which is
no. That actually caused. I am a vet, and I have gone through
recursion therapy.
It works.
Check out EMDR though.
They base that success. They base that success on people who don't show back up after 6 months. It is a falsehood. I keep telling people
But
this.
you went into a lot of the science there.
Check out EMDR. It helps.
A
little less scientific.
They base the success of recursion therapy on people who don't show back up.
No, not recursion therapy. EMDR. Eye movement desensitization.
Okay.
You explained a little bit of the science.
That's where they relive the experience and have them work through it, right? It doesn't work.
No. This is where you actually reconnect the two sides of the brain through sensitive
All right, let's not get too sidetracked. The point is that PTSD can be is a very treatable. It's a very treatable psychological disorder.
It's very hard, and it's going to be a lot of work.
Now, hold on. Here's what I want to hear from Schmeckle. Quiet, Schmeckle. Where do you I would ask you this then. Where do you think if we implemented what you want implemented as far as mental illness, things like that? Number one, do you think that it's a perfectly rational fear to assume, oh shit, mental illness is going to be the next racist? As far as, well, now, if you even touch a psychiatrist, you're fucked. Number two,
I do.
Hold on. Number two, can you acknowledge and appreciate how Americans are so adept at pointing out slippery slopes because we love our freedom?
Americans are adept at pointing out slippery slopes. Most of the time, they're incorrect. That's why, for the vast majority of time, it's been a slippery slope fallacy. But yeah, I can certainly see how a lot of this is not something that could actually be implemented. Like I said, I'm speaking idealistically.
But would you? I want to ask you this question, Schmeck. Hold on, really quickly. So we have in this country, and I know it's different in Canada. So in this country, though, one of our most basic rights, it's the second, number 2 in our Bill of Rights, is the people to be able to own firearms. People who have served in our United States military often experience post-traumatic stress disorder because they have experienced horrible things that have happened to them. That the brain is actually, our brains are really fantastic machines that are they shut off that hemispheric communication because of the difficulty in processing how bad it would be otherwise. So they come back, they have a disorder within their brain that is upsetting, right? And then they come back here and we say, because you served your country and you essentially received a wound, you can no longer access your basic right because you have a disease that was incurred through your service.
And I'm going to look at that fairly similar to the way that I look at retarded people or insane people or, abused people who end up mentally deranged, who go on to kill people. As sad as the situation is,
okay,
as unfair as it might be, the pragmatic decision is you're fucked up. You're fucked up in a way that might be dangerous. We're going to avoid letting you be dangerous. In the case of PTSD victims, It's don't let them have guns. In the case of, crazy ass murderers, it's preferably for me execute, but at least jail.
So if you're part of a society, part of the things you do is you take care of your family, right?
Yeah.
And you take care of the people around you. You look out for the people around you. It's part of the social contract. One of the issues with this dude in Florida who shot up the school was that everybody around him failed to act on the very, very obvious fact that this kid was out of his fucking mind.
Oh, no, definitely.
When people are out of their minds, when people are crazy, there are red flags every step of the way.
Not always, though.
With the
every red flag with this kid.
Look at people like Ted Bundy. Not a whole lot of red flags that were apparent until after the fact.
Also, it turns out the bald chick actually bullied the kid who shot up the school.
No. If you read that whole, if you listen to her read or listen to the whole speech, she said in context, he was ostracized because he was a creepy motherfucker, not because they were bullying the weird kid.
Yes, they were bullying him. He wasn't even allowed in the emo gazebo. And I just talked about this earlier tonight. It doesn't mean that I was bullied very.
I'm sorry. If you were the type of guy that everybody thinks like fucking skins cats or some shit, yeah, they're not gonna be.
That's how I was treated before I was in high school. I was treated as like.
Well, that sucks. Maybe you shouldn't have been so fucking weird.
I was the only black guy in my school.
I can look at any of you people here right now and think, hey, nobody here is likely to skin a fucking cat or be cruel to animals or set a fire or any of that shit.
You don't understand the most basic aspects of teenage psychology to understand that the shit that they did to that kid was probably torture. And I'm not saying that made him a murderer, because there's all kinds of other shit going on in his life that really fucked him up. But for you to say, well, maybe you were bullied because you looked like you were skinning cats.
It was essentially torture. So what was essentially torture? Let's get some details.
I've been through essentially torture from bullying.
No, wait, I don't want to hear I've been through essentially torture. I want to hear what did this kid go through that was essentially torture.
Do you want to hear what I went through that was essentially torture?
I'm gonna go look at porn somewhere.
Listen.
Hey, anybody in chat want some porn links? I'll send them.
So what they said was that they ostracized this kid. And the exact quote was from her, "You didn't know him. You didn't have to deal with him. You can get a good little bit."
That's not the exact quote.
Yes, it is.
Wait, hold on.
No, please, Brockus, do me a favor. Pull up the exact quote.
All right.
So,
Secretary time.
Yeah. So with that, what you can take away from that is that these kids were essentially dicks to him because he was different.
Not because he was different.
Yes.
Because he was a creepy, violent-seeming motherfucker.
No, make your definition here very clear. Because you understand that this is a subjective definition. When you're saying he was a creepy motherfucker, how is that different from he was different?
Those words are subjective.
No. Hang on. How is it different? Let me explain. Do you know one? Okay, let's go here. Schmeckle, I believe you're an atheist, right? Do you know why I was bullied?
Close enough.
Do you know why I was bullied to an extreme degree? Because I was an atheist and I went to a Catholic school. I was a weirdo outsider. I was a creep. I was a freak. Do you understand this? So society is always subjective. The group is subjective. I study group psychology. So do you understand? Okay?
I understand.
Okay, so from their perspective, the people who bullied me horribly, and I have spoken about this extensively, I was a weird, creepy freak, right? Why? Because I wasn't a Catholic.
Yes, but I think you've lost track.
No, I don't think I have.
Whether or not she admitted to bullying him.
She did.
He was ostracized by the rest.
I'm gonna find the clip.
Ostracization is not always a malevolent act. Sometimes you are ostracized for legitimate reasons.
I do have to give Schmeckle a point on that one. From what I understand, this kid did a bunch of fucking crazy shit in school.
Oh, he was freaking crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he was
so
ostracized
you
for a
wanna be
legitimate
crazy-
reason. People didn't want to hang out with him because he was nuts.
But okay, now you are asking for temporal, or asking for temporal ordinance. What came first? Okay.
Yes,
Was he
this is
ostracized?
a
Was he?
straw man. I
Mr.
understand.
Strawman, Mr. Strawman, I'm asking what came first because I don't know, and neither do you. None of us know. What came first?
None of us know. But seeing as the shooting was the thing that came most recently, I think temporally
No.
we can figure that the ostracizing came before that, and then I think we can assume that the ostracization came for some type of reason.
No,
There is
not
the
necessarily.
clear possibility that maybe he showed up, and for no reason, this bunch of kids decided, "Hey, fuck this kid. We're gonna
Do you understand?
bully him.
Look, no,
we're
that's
we're
not
gonna
true.
rip this kid up."
I was bullied for no reason.
But what seems weird to me
I'm
is
gonna
the
play
two
you
of
guys
you
the
will point
audio.
out.
Listen,
The
I'm gonna play you the
two
audio.
of you will point out how
Schmeckle, we're getting the audio.
The
Schmeckle, we're getting the
FBI
audio.
did not do their job.
I agree with this, but
Guys,
we're
we're getting
talking
the audio.
about, or we're talking about
was in middle school.
Aiden, we're getting the audio.
No surprise to anyone who knew him to hear that he was the shooter. Those talking about how we should have not ostracized him, you didn't know this kid. Okay, we did.
let me just be clear.
Okay, wait. You cut it off a little early then.
No, that's where it ends.
That is not where it ends.
I'll send you the
she
clip.
does. He probably. I'm sure she
That's
went
where
on
that clip
further.
But see,
But
there
my-
you go. For you saying
my-
we shouldn't have ostracized this kid, you didn't know him.
Look,
I still
the
don't. I
point
still don't. I
is,
still don't get how
That's
No,
an
either side
entirely
we land on this.
reasonable
Either
statement.
side we
You
land
are
on this.
looking
Schmeckle.
at
Schmeckle saw.
ostracization
Schmeckle
as an
saw. Calm
inherently
down.
negative
Calm
thing.
down. No,
You know what?
either
If
side that
any
we
of
land
us
on
were
this-
hanging out with
Schmeckle
wait,
saw.
I'll use something something that I know Sinatra will understand. If we were hanging out with fucking Frieza, we'd ostracize that motherfucker.
But I wouldn't be
Okay, but either
surprised
way you
when
land,
Frieza
Schmeckle.
came back and started fucking people up.
Schmeckle, Sinatra. Either side you land on this. Schmeckle, shut up.
That is
he was in the
exactly
wrong
what-
and you weren't.
That's exactly what happened, isn't it? That's exactly what happened in the show too.
Chicken or the egg. Chicken or the egg. It doesn't matter. My question is, what I've been confused by with this discussion is, what are we getting at? What are we saying that this implies? Are we saying this implies less freedom? And if so, Schmeckle, you fucking lose me. I don't care what came first. I don't care.
really either. I mean, my
I just care if you get
freedom in the long
pissy
run.
about the results of freedom, which freedom can be fucking
like I'm
messy.
saying, I realize
all.
that your country cannot be fixed as far as guns go.
Fixed?
There is no
I don't-
fixing
I don't
your
disagree
gun
with you
issue.
there. No, I don't disagree with you there. There will
Your
not
approach
be a
to
fix.
fixing our gun
there
issue is an
is
approach
no
to restricting
solution
freedom,
because
so
it
it doesn't fix
coded
things.
into your fucking rights.
There won't be a fixing of
What
gun
I am
violence
saying
as
is
long
that
as
you would have a better country. The ideal situation would be if you guys did not have these very lackadaisical gun laws.
What?
And you had
You have
something
no-
more akin
Schmeckle,
to the
you don't
countries that
understand.
don't have continuous
our gun laws aren't laxadational.
And then we'll be
They're not at
America
all.
and flip you the bird because we're more free
Our
than
gun
you.
laws are really strict.
Our gun laws are very strict.
Super strict.
Again,
Your
we
guns
have
are
just
strict
The
compared
reason
to what?
they're not
Have you not
Your gun laws are strict compared to what?
I just read you the list of the things
how
that
about compared to
disqualify you from owning a
Switzerland?
gun.
Schmeckle, I would like you right now to look up the gun laws in Switzerland. Almost everyone in Switzerland.
I'm not gonna say there aren't countries that have very
No.
very
Hang
loose
on. I really no. You need to.
as far
No,
as the first world goes, you got Switzerland.
Excuse me. I have to go. This was a very interesting conversation. I hope that I will be invited back next week.
Who the fuck's this
or
tar? I'm
whenever.
just kidding.
Yeah, and guys, I
Either
apologize too. I have to go as well.
All right.
But
well,
I've got to work in the morning and I can't stay any longer. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the stream. Nice talking
you
to
guys
you.
before you have
Oh,
to
thank
no.
you
might
for
wanna
joining
run.
Ishtar and Robert. Thank you both.
Do you
Nice
have
meeting you,
Bye,
Robert.
Cadet.
Thank you.
Ruined.
Bye,
Nice
Zell.
meeting you,
Bye,
Ishtar.
Broncos. Bye,
Hey,
everyone.
Bye.
it was
Later.
very
Yeah.
nice having you,
I wanted to
Ishtar.
hear what you had to say.
I don't know if you'll make it. Oh, we didn't get a whole lot out of you tonight, but well,
You were doing some
you didn't
sexy
fail.
reading when I
We'll
came
try
in.
it again.
Yeah, I was interested in what she was saying, the tardigrade shit.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but that digressed rapidly.
You invited Sinatra, which means you invited me, which means it turns into a gun debate. My
I
point.
kind of regret doing my fucking article earlier about the London stabbings because it eventually evolved into this.
I don't regret this. This is awesome.
All right, you guys have fun with that then.
At the
I'm
same
gonna
time,
go back
I'm
to
Bye,
looking at.
Kadon.
I'm not leaving. I'm just gonna go look at porn. While you guys go ahead and
Oh, wait,
yell at each other.
you can't take off. I gotta go take a piss. You gotta be in charge
who
for
was
like,
that
for like
Issachar?
5
Sinatra,
minutes.
reorient my brain now that I forget what the fuck I was talking about.
Who was that Issachar person?
Ishtar
Ishtar is. You know how shitty CNN has been.
God damn, Schmeckle, just
I
leave.
brought in
Kadun was about
Kadun
to tell her.
to replace somebody, but Kadun's only temporary, so I'm going to be replacing her with Ishtar.
Yeah, because my schedule.
doesn't
Son
say-
of a bitch.
I don't know who that is though. I wanted it. You know,
I don't know who the fuck she is.
She's an unknown. Like she's not into any of this stuff. Like she's usually in chats on certain streams, but
she got a Twitter you can put in the side.
yes, but she's my schedule's not going to allow me to continue to do CNN. I've already been late multiple times just trying to show up, and there's no guarantee that I'd be able to continue doing it. So I actively started looking for somebody to replace me, and Ishtar, I think she has a pretty good voice.
She does. She had a really good British accent too.
And she's fairly
Holy
intelligent.
shit, that was her?
Yes.
Okay, that actually really was good.
But yeah, so she's gonna maybe take over.
All right, cool.
Hopefully,
let's
hopefully more CNN episodes
we
don't
dedicated
digress
too much
into this
to a
fucking
possible
trash
host.
fire. I'm hoping that fucking this didn't totally like turn her off from the idea.
What?
Because
This is one of the better cunt streams. What are you talking about?
I mean, maybe for you, but you love trash fires. For me, like I was just. I actually
love the good
prepared.
debate.
Is this a
I
trash
had
fire?
actually prepared for once.
Can I
for
try to tag
fucking,
you
like,
in it?
news-
Kadun, you always hate the most interesting. You hate the political ones. You hate the this and that. But you'll talk about.
Okay, there we go. But I was actually prepared for once. That's it. That's it.
son of a
That's
bitch.
my problem. Of course.
Well,
So-
no, I think. Well, the issue is when it comes to a debate like gun control, is that it's Schmeckle is just talking about what he either sees on the news or sees in movies.
I think it's movies, it's news, and it's emotion. And unfortunately, none of those are really based on data. And I'm like, look, this is why I don't get on streams. I'm super fucking autistic. I only look at numbers, generally speaking, and I'm not good at talking about things because I only pay attention to data. If I don't have an actual number in front of me, it makes me uncomfortable to cite things off the top of my head. Now, some citations I absolutely have, but those are mostly social science theories and things like that, seminal works and stuff. But I don't feel comfortable citing numbers unless I absolutely know them.
I think you did fine.
I think you did great.
You represented
Oh
people.
no! I can cite some shit, but
my
my point is,
opinions don't
I
come.
I don't like doing it.
Don't come without data. It's just I will admit I don't have all the data. This is not an area of interest for me. But I have seen the statistics on the countries that have gun laws versus the countries that have gun crime.
You looked at them versus? Have you looked at Mexico, Argentina, Honduras versus the United States?
No, I've mainly looked at first world countries.
I need you to go look at those. I need you to go look at the countries that have banned, the South American countries that have banned guns, and look at how their murder rates by guns have risen in the last 10 years. It will make you sick.
I feel like they have a little less value being being
El Salvador, yes.
basically
Wait,
third world.
so why would you throw this data out?
Oh, 1 second. I do have to say, Chaos has just been timed out for the second time by Bruni. Bruni, do me a favor and post in the chat for me. I'd like to give you a prize. I'd like to give you a certificate for your banning of that villain.
Okay, but real quick, I actually just noticed that there was a super chat we missed. So let me just.
Oh, Brock, just read that shit. I leave you cunts in charge.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm sorry.
make me do my own shit.
You know what? I
doing a lot
would
of
have read it when it popped up, but I got muted while everybody was too busy.
Okay,
And
I
got muted
actually. There we go. It was American Phoenix, $2. As the American Phoenix, my word is law. Guns rule.
All right. There you go. That's the end of that debate.
See? Yep, over.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
you
Guns,
lose now.
Guns do.
Good country.
Guns do fucking rule.
Canada
You
loses.
lost. You lost.
Just be.
Guns are great.
You lost because you're not armed.
Schmeckle, if you keep it up and
not
come
top
take over your
200.
country, you unarmed fuck.
I'm just telling you, man. Just be very careful because when you look at the countries where we have engaged, oh, that's a good idea. Fuck. When you look at the countries that have engaged in very strict gun control laws, the South American countries that have done it, and you can say, oh, it's South America. Well, they suck and they're not first world countries. Okay, I get you. How about let's look at the actual declines in gun violence in Australia after they actually did buy the guns back from people. They've gone down, but they've gone on at the exact same, or at least a comparable rate as the U.S. gun violence has gone down in comparison. If you look at the longitudinal data, and I do request you look at the longitudinal data, you'll see a consistent trend. In fact, there hasn't been much of anything. Well, now I'm going to smoke weed. Fucking A.
Aiden,
this is tobacco.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's tobacco.
I will say someone else in our chat did bring up earlier that after the gun ban in Australia, home invasions did skyrocket.
Yeah, that was
This is
They went up,
the Australia is a good
300%.
example. The Australia is a good example of gun control. Is the most tired and dumb argument I've ever
Because when you actually go and look at this is the problem with people. What about, I need to come up with a term for this of people who like read the abstracts of an article, and not the actual hard data. You need to go look at the data, and the data on Australia are like, well, yeah, I mean, it went down kind of, but not in the long term. It was identical to other countries of similar economic growth, and similarly, yes, it did increase there was an increase in home invasions directly afterwards. And not everyone in Australia got rid of their guns either.
There's a correlation with guns, gun control, and countries losing their guns through laws and stuff. Rape goes up like 200 to 300, even 500%.
Yeah, look at Mexico. Mexico is a fantastic example. Now, you can call Mexico a third world country. Would you call Mexico a shithole? I mean, that's a question.
Yeah.
Is Mexico a shithole?
Yeah, I'd call Mexico a shithole.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, so we call Mexico a shithole. Well, Mexico banned guns, and their gun violence went up by like 300, 500%.
Yeah.
That's because Mexico... 1 second. The bitching which says, wait, Schmeckle smokes pot. No, like I said, that was tobacco. Tobacco in that pipe. I am unwilling to do anything illegal on stream.
Are you going to call Australia?
That could get me in trouble, and if I get in trouble, Samaj might get in trouble.
Are you going to call Australia?
Fuck me.
Schmeckle?
Okay.
No? All right.
What do you want to know?
Are you going to call Australia a shithole?
Am I going to call what?
Their wildlife constantly tries to kill everybody. Yes, it's a shithole.
Am I going to call what a shithole?
Australia.
Oh my God.
Australia, yeah, at this point. At this point, Australia is a shithole.
Their spiders are fucking terrifying, bro.
Their spiders are
Australia was a shithole before based on nature, but
Wait,
yeah,
do you know what they're ants?
Australia
But Schmeckle, they did what you wanted politically. They got rid of guns.
that they did
Can
one
I talk
thing
about
wanted.
placenta smoothies now or something?
And
Like-
I also
God,
didn't
no.
say get rid of guns. I just said
Oh
don't
my
give them.
god.
Oh,
Kadani,
okay,
why?
all right. Well, but they're going the sort of
All
direction.
right, we
you
won't
prefer,
give guns
correct?
to criminals, and then we'll somehow magically feed all the poor kids. Schmeckle, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sinatra now follows me.
No, I don't care if
Aw.
you don't need to
Fanboying.
feed the poor kids. Well, let them all die off.
All right, fair
They're
enough. I'm gonna
poor.
go
They
smoke a
weren't
cigarette.
have a good life anyway.
Oh no, Sinatra, don't leave me here.
You're fine. These are good people.
No, I don't
Wow.
mind.
Harley
You guys are
Quinn's a little
Us.
rapey, but the rest are fine.
One of
Can I
us.
vote we bring up Kadunt's placenta article, please? Because
I don't want to, but we should because it's
I'm a little
it's-
afraid.
a bit old, please.
Yeah, launch into another article since we're half an hour since when we we're half an hour after since when we usually end. So
Hey. Chat's clearly liking what we're talking about. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I say we go.
well,
for
yeah, that's because we finally got Sinatra back. I caused a rift between me and Sinatra, and I thought I wouldn't
Is
get
this
him
about
back.
building bridges today?
Can somebody please line up Baby Come Back for me?
Oh,
Hey.
I'm sure
Oh.
Broncos will get to it.
Well, now you can't get Sinatra without me. Unfortunately, I think we come connected at the hip.
God damn, Aiden!
Actually,
Just-
wait. Aiden, are you a fan of
I
anime?
need to bring you every time.
I like anime.
Sometimes I need some alone time with my Sinatra. You've seen those lips. You've seen those lips. I need
I
some
sure
alone
have.
time with those lips, Aiden.
My
I
body's
don't know if I agree, but all right.
Kadunt, you cannot bring this up and then go look at porn. You are reading this.
You heard that, Sinatra. She said, "All right, that's consent." Well, we good to go.
Come back, Kadunt. You have to read this. You found it.
I don't
All
know.
right,
where she is.
Kadunt's
I think
gone.
she went outside.
She doesn't matter. Talk about something that's not Kadunt.
Let's do the
shit.
placenta thing
Kadunt will
because
be
they
back
want to do the
eventually.
placenta thing.
I'm afraid of whatever the placenta thing is.
It sounds
The
juicy.
placenta thing is apparently a smoothie. So
Oh, no,
yeah,
it's
I'm a
smoothie.
little
Oh,
turned
no.
off by it too.
I
read it,
can
read it.
just tell you a story.
I
I know
did.
people who did this.
Aiden, if you want to know what the article she found is, a mom blends her placenta into a smoothie and then fed it to her family.
I have to go.
That just sounds so yummy.
That's the fucking cue. Get the fuck out.
God.
Wait, I like her
Comments,
suggestion.
Aiden? Do you have comments on this
Come on,
subject,
guys.
Aiden?
I would actually.
Neither of you has ever thought of
Sinatra's-
Sinatra. Maybe you could knock
He's
Aiden
smoking a cigarette.
Wait 9 months. She'll pump out a baby. You'll get this placenta. It'll come out before or after. I can't remember.
After.
After.
Around the time the baby comes out, and then you just put it in a fucking blender. You know those magic bullet things? Fucking magic bullet. You just take
Actually,
you slam it a couple
Here's
times.
an old school internet
It's
meme. Will
blended
it
up.
blend?
You feed it to your parents.
Oh my god, will it blend?
Happy
Oh my
Will
god.
it blend?
Holy shit.
No,
That was a thing.
Zelzel, you need to read this. I agree with Kadunt. You read the thing.
I don't want to read it. I do know these old. I knew these hippie people when I was in when I was a kid. Actually,
Were you
they-
saying
they-
me or Aiden?
No. I
I
knew
don't
this
wanna read
hippie
it.
family. I knew this hippie family, and they saved both of their children's placentas, and they just kept them in jars, like in their living room. So you'd walk over to their house, and they'd just be like, "What's this? That's interesting." It's like, "Oh yes, that's Isaac's placenta."
Put some pickles in there, you know?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you
Save
doing
them,
this?
save
It's
them for a
terrible
few
thing.
months.
Pickle the placenta.
No, just like pickle,
Wait,
pickle
wait.
the placenta.
Kadant's in the side chat saying, "Handle the fucking vagina bacon shit while she looks at porn."
Oh, no.
Kadant, get the fuck on here and handle the fucking vagina bacon shit.
Vagina bacon.
Did you hear? Did you watch? Did
I
you
was
watch?
on the
Oh my
stream and
god!
this was talking-
Go watch Jen's video on it, dude. Go to the Reddit page. It's the
What?
most horrifying thing because I was
Hey,
also very
that-
confused.
What happened?
I was so confused.
I can live without knowing what vagina bacon is.
No.
Okay, can I describe it?
Apparently, Aiden knows.
I do. Okay, let me explain what vagina
I just
bacon is.
briefly glanced over it, but yeah, can you
Okay.
explain, Aiden?
So it was a Reddit post where this woman was like, "Look at this thing that came out of my vagina," and there's at least I know there's one other woman here. I know the other one might be gone. But, okay, so sometimes there are when you menstruate gross things. This woman, what she posted on Reddit though, that I don't think that's normal. It was like a giant liver, like
it was a bad thing.
It was like 6 inches long.
It looks like the arms of those aliens from Men in Black who have like a really curved.
Oh my god! No!
It was just it was okay. So what happens when women menstruate is that the walls of their uterus slough off. This was like a really giant chunk of it, and I don't know how she managed to produce this.
Is she sure it wasn't a baby she misaborted?
Maybe, but then she went on Reddit and they told her to cook it up and fry it like bacon.
Oh, look at this
and she did, and she ate it.
All right, guys, I'm leaving.
That's disgusting.
Aiden, I'm leaving you here.
Sinatra, run while you still can. Keep your sanity, bro.
Dude, no, Mr. Medicare made a video on it.
I am feeling physical pain. Having to
Literally, the only reason I know about this because this is the most horrifying. Okay,
when did he make the video, Aiden?
Like 4 months ago, and I remember being like, "Oh my god, there's no way that's real." And then I went to the Reddit post to be like, "Oh no,
this is the third or fourth time I've heard this story." And
do you think it made her immortal?
At one point, I saw some of the pictures, and it still makes me want to puke.
Do you think it makes her immortal, Schmeck?
I'm still having trouble holding it in.
Wait, like an Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, the snake eating its own bacon.
God.
$2 from American Phoenix. Can we go back to yelling about guns, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Guns are good or bad or whatever.
Guns are way. Okay, this is way worser than guns, is what you're saying. Way worser.
Oh hell yeah! I would give every person in your country a gun, rather than allow this to happen again.
This is my punishment to you guys.
Thank you.
Have fun. Enjoy. Continue.
Hey, I don't know you, but
Does
you're
anyone
lucky
want a
I knew the
smoothie?
story.
The bitching witch says, Schmeckle, think of Liz's 2 buttholes. You'll feel better. You know, Liz's buttholes are actually not a huge consolation. I'm sitting here with a stomach that is churning because of gross thoughts, and you were offering more. You're offering me more gross thoughts. You're not as helpful as you think, the bitching witch. In fact, I'll be right back.
Schmeckle, do you want? Okay, he left already. I was like, does he want to talk about a girlfriend who made a illustrated comic about her life with her boyfriend?
Okay,
I would rather just go watch some Dragon Ball Super and try to catch up to where Sinatra and Tonka and everybody. Well,
I am gonna go watch Dragon Ball Super.
Are we gonna go watch Dragon Ball Super?
I want to catch up to the show.
Yeah?
I want to be on Sinatra and AP's level.
No, I can't tell if you're serious.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We have to go.
All right, bye.
Sinatra was serious.
I'm serious.
Hey, thanks,
The last
guys.
episode on Dragon Ball Super is awesome. You should watch it.
Bye bye.
Love you, Aiden. Love you,
Love you
Sinatra.
too. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
This devolved into
Fucking
insanity.
cunt.
It's disgusting.
I don't know what happened. We went from yelling to gross to I don't know what happened.
There's a lot of things wrong with this stream. There's a lot of things wrong with this
Poor
stream.
Rin.
No, you want to know what happened? Schmeckle's not allowed to fucking have any more vodka ever again.
See, Brockus, it's not poor me. Or Zel, it's not poor me. I have rum. Rum made that tolerable.
Oh, I've been drinking, like I said, I've been drinking vodka and Cokes, and it's been tolerable, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, the vodka and Coke
I'm
wants to
surrounded
come
by
back.
alcoholics.
I'm not an alcoholic. I might be. I don't know.
Maybe.
You
You have like
will
a
be after
bladder the
tonight.
size of an acorn or something, man.
What?
Does he have like a bladder the size of an acorn?
She is a terrible fucking person. She made me walk away to puke and then just dropped out while I was vomiting.
Placenta bacon.
No, it's not placenta bacon. It's placenta smoothie. It's uterine lining wall bacon.
Plakin.
Okay, let's not talk about it again.
Yeah, Plakin.
It doesn't exist.
Done. I think we covered enough of that story.
All right.
Bakinta.
It doesn't exist, and Chaos is right. We went from yelling to communal vomiting.
Chaos, baby. If you ever come down here for a fucking let's say $55 super chat, I will allow you to travel down to where I'm at, and I will puke into your mouth.
Oh.
Oh, okay. And now
your
that. Now
Will
that
you
that.
film it, Schmeckle?
Kinky.
Yeah. Fuck. It's my
You're a good
vomit
man.
going into his mouth.
You're a good man.
I mean, it's no
We need something to
embarrassment for
jerk
me.
off around here with.
And to answer my.
I like to provide my viewers with entertainment, and if that means that I need to puke into the mouths of those viewers, then
All right.
you know that's what it's gotta take.
All right. What are we gonna do now? Because we're almost to yeah. What do I do now?
Roll through the rest of the story.
No
Quick,
way.
go.
No, I don't want to go through this story again.
No. We're gonna skip Kadant's story.
Oh
Yes,
God.
thank
Okay.
you.
We're
Which
gonna
one?
skip the vagina bacon story.
Thank you. Thank
We
you,
didn't.
producer.
We're not skipping it.
whoa.
We went over it in detail.
Oh, we're gonna skip it from this point on.
That's
Belle, shut up.
That's not my story anyway.
Yes,
Oh no,
Ren.
she had the placenta smoothie. Oh, we're gonna bypass that one too. I've already puked.
Well, I have another one.
Alarm Hu Akbar.
What's this one about Kadant?
As long as it's not about things that come out of ladies and become food, I'm good.
Tribute Hoop, yes, I
you
do
can
shill.
tell it.
I shill in my corner, and I do it because I love
Brock
the
is-
people that I'm shilling
shut
for.
up.
Now,
Kadant's talking.
1 second. We got Kyle the Dead saying, "Everyone, if you're bored, join. Everyone, if you're bored, join the chair stream right now."
Fuck the chair stream.
you all are
Fuck
bored,
it.
if
Fuck you. It's your
all
fault you're in a
really bored,
wheelchair.
if all of you are excessively bored after we
You
end
shouldn't
this,
have chosen to be in a fucking wheelchair. And I don't want your stupid,
don't join the
retarded
fucking
crippled
chair
show.
stream. After this stream, go and watch the dump. I'm sure the dump's probably good. Don't watch the fucking chair
You motherfucker.
I mean, Chairview is an alright guy.
He's okay. I just don't understand why he chose
all
to be
of
in a
his
wheelchair.
body crippled, plus he's fat, plus his teeth are bad, plus he smells kind of bad, plus he's Canadian.
God.
You know, other than all of those things, oh, he's a
I
whiny
thought I
bitch,
was being
too.
cruel.
But other than
Jesus.
those things,
All right, let's take a
Chair's
different
an
article.
alright
Move
guy,
on.
but you should not turn in to the Chairview
I feel so
streams
bad for Ren.
because
Ren,
of Kyle the
do
Dead.
you have a dude?
Kyle the
Okay,
Dead.
Ren, do you have an
He
art?
co-host.
Jesus Christ.
Kyle the Dead is the thing that ruins it.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, Schmeckle, how drunk are you?
Schmeckle.
Kyle is like
We don't
if
need
I had
Schmeckle
Wrath
Saw.
of Controversy
Chill.
as the main host, and nobody else ever talked, and it was all rap.
Schmeckle. Schmeckle.
Ren, do you have an article?
Yes, I do. Here.
But also, he was a lot worse, and nobody liked him.
God damn it! Fucking God damn it! He's still talking.
Go on, Ren.
Here, so we can all see it.
Okay.
I
is-
guess what I was
Present
saying
that
is
shit.
fuck Kyle the Dead.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving on. Article.
Schmeckle
Let's
presents
move on to
it.
something that will make us all
I will
puke,
now
won't you?
present Ren. But Ren, is there something I can say personally right now about you?
Go for it.
It's just I really, really hope you agree with the statement. Fuck Kyle the Dead.
Yes, she
Fine,
agrees.
fine.
Now, presenter.
She is presented.
And now let's go through it. We don't have to read, we can go through the illustrated part. This is a girlfriend who secretly illustrated everyday life with her boyfriend, and then her comic that she did online became viral.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
it's
remember that.
yes. But it's very cute and it won't make us puke.
Okay. Nice
So let's
change of pace.
Let's go with not make us yell and not make us puke.
Yeah.
No, make us yell.
Here's
Whoa,
our
why
fluff
are you talking
piece.
about not making us yell, right?
Schmeckle.
Who's been yelling around?
Turn it down.
Well, look at the fluff piece, everybody. Oh,
Yeah. Look at the
Yeah.
battery. The battery's charging.
Yay!
Yeah.
I am not at all interested in this. Next story.
Okay.
Stop
okay.
it.
There. For
Really,
one.
Schmeckle? She didn't even scroll to the bottom. God damn it, Schmeckle. God.
I
damn it.
didn't make that happen.
God
She
damn
made
it.
the decision. I just said
God.
next story.
Oh my God! Now you're gonna blame her.
Fine.
Charges.
If you really want, I could bring up the people who decided to trash a Trump hotel room.
The malevolent rider says, Schmeckles, control your drinking. The malevolent rider, I can't say anything mean to you.
I'm distracting my mind with the bitching witch's cleavage, and dear God, it's gorgeous.
Yes, that works.
The bitching
Sounds
witch.
nice.
I saw a picture that was apparently of her when she was like 25 or something.
It's not actually her.
I don't know if it was actually a picture of her, just someone.
But the bitching witch is still gorgeous.
Here, look.
She's
I'm curious. Are you wearing a corset under the shirt there? Because that kind of looks like you're wearing an underbus.
Yeah, if that picture was actually her when she was 25.
No, not the one.
The bitching witch was really hot when she was 25.
No,
But
that's
also
again. It's still
Operative word was.
It's still that's still a fake picture that was not real. She confirmed with UA, who thought it was real, right after, and the two of them started kind of flirting on Twitter.
Here we go.
Bitching witch, if you start flirting
Rider
with UA,
says,
I've lost all respect for you, lady.
Well,
first,
UA was not flirting with her. She was just accepting the flirting.
The bitching witch says I have drunk.
Oh, look, my distant cousins.
No, the bitching witch, I just have drunkenness. You don't need the extra letters in there.
It cost 43
the
million. to
malevolent
support the royal
rider
family
says,
in 2015.
go ahead,
How are
I
you not
like
still
a good
controlled?
bashing. He says, go ahead, I like you good bashing, long as there's truth to it. Isn't he the guy that we had on once that we all had to be really, really gentle to for a certain reason?
Well, no, that's Brockus.
I'm not sure if I'm remembering right. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but we had someone on who, for a certain reason, we had to be very, very, very gentle, and I feel like it was the malevolent rider.
So, Schmeckle, Canada's not part of the Commonwealth, huh?
No, we are.
We are.
No, we
Explain
are
yourself,
certainly,
you Canadian spy.
We are supportive of the royal family and shit like that. That's why we still.
Why do you pay him?
Have that old bitch over there.
Why did it go from $0 to $43 million? What's your narrative now?
Oh, and look, hidden fees to pay them.
Look who's sucking whose dick.
Well, yeah, no, those aren't. Those are certainly us sucking their dick. It's still not evidence of us being part of the proper Commonwealth. We are part of the Commonwealth, but we are not a colony or anything like that.
43 million.
All right, well,
43 million.
We just wanted to establish who's sucking whose dick.
No. Canada definitely sucks.
You were in
their
denial of
dicks.
that. You're like, oh, we just asked and blah 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 and duh duh duh. Now now we find out that it's been you asked
that's
to leave,
legitimate
but
fact.
It's cost you probably at this point billions and billions of dollars to say, can we leave?
No, that's not it at all. These payments are not us owing them anything like it would be with. No, you can look at the facts. It's not a debt owed. We help them out.
Why?
Because our country is.
So you help out another country,
the royal family,
at the royal family, at the detriment of what your. Couldn't that money go towards, say, I don't know, your healthcare system that's failing?
Our healthcare system actually isn't failing. It's doing pretty well.
I can't talk on that, but Ren, if you want to get into that, if you have data or something,
I'll be right back.
And he leaves. I don't know how many documentaries are out there about the fact that people have really long waiting lists just to see a specialist. Something that takes someone in the U.S. way less time than it does someone in Canada.
We're not going to get into another debate right now.
Yeah, let's not do that too. That's a good point.
Yeah.
We just did the gun control thing. Let's not get into another screaming match over something else.
Yeah.
Click my
stupid schmeckle.
Click my other linky.
Why
Because you're being presented right now.
Why do you want me to click your other link?
Just do it. It's nothing bad, I promise.
Oh God.
You guys already went through my 2 bad ones.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the worst. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, this one.
Sharing.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, this one. The guy who led the Nexium group has actually been charged for a bunch of shit.
Branding women?
Yeah, that was kind of part of it. If you saw, I don't know if you watched 2020, they did a whole special on it. There was a group that they would sit around in a circle naked and get branded with a cattle prodder.
What the fuck?
Yep.
What?
And one of the people who helps get women into this group was the chick who played the first girlfriend from Smallville.
Oh my God, I have heard about this. Yes. Okay. Yes.
What?
There was two girls that were linked to Smallville. One of them was more prominent in this than the other. But yes, I heard about this fucking story. Oh my God, it's so
blonde
insane.
chick from Smallville.
Who did she?
Yeah.
She was the one who eventually married Doomsday, that actress.
Oh, the one that was Jimmy's girlfriend, and then the Jimmy died, and then the other Jimmy got the camera and bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, that chick.
Yeah, that crap.
She's part of a cult. Yeah. To gain some admission to the sorority, women were required to give their recruiter, or master, as she called, naked photographs or other compromising material, and were warned that such collateral might be publicly released if the group's existence was disclosed.
Well, technically, most actors are part of cults, so is this really that surprising?
Then they were branded with the cattle prod.
This is surprising.
With the
Yes,
initials, with the initials of Mr. Rainier and the chick from, and essentially the chick from Smallville. It was a tattoo design.
High-profile actors might be out of touch, but this is a surprise.
Yeah. Stop.
You know what we could talk about too, Rin? This is very interesting. I don't know if you guys brought this up. I apologize. But you guys heard about the animated Deadpool series that was canceled?
Yes.
Did you hear the theory as to why?
Which theory? Because there's the one that Glover released his scripts for it, saying that he wasn't too busy to actually do the thing, and that it really was a basic thing of it was creative differences, aka merchandising, which was the difference between the show going on and the show not going on. Which makes me think they wanted to dumb it down for like kids or a younger audience.
I don't know if you can pull it up because everything is saved on the internet somewhere, but Stephen Glover, Donald Glover's brother, who was working on the show as well, tweeted something out, and I don't know verbatim what he said, but it was essentially implying we got the axe because we went too harsh on Taylor Swift. And then he has since deleted that tweet.
Well, I had the news article up earlier, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a bit creepy of the timing, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if I can find the tweet again though. But yeah, I
You mean
posted
this?
it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there you go. Beautiful.
Stephen
and
Glover
again, this
says.
brings up a good talking point, which is like, I mean, this show was gonna be fucking harsh as it should have been. And you know, is there when you're writing something like this, should you is it better for your writing to draw a line yourself, or do you just go full metal? Do you just go all the way and not give a fuck? I mean,
It sounds like they didn't, and it wouldn't have been, and it would have been a very hilarious show. But
yeah.
How if we?
You walked away for a minute.
I forgot how much vodka makes me have to pee. Jesus.
Anyway, we're almost at 2 a.m.
That's true.
No, we're gonna actually. Brockus is in charge. Brockus, wrap this shit up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today was a very fucked up CNN Cunt News Network.
He's doing a terrible job. Done. Wrap this shit.
Jesus! Oh my god!
All right, we had Gem Max. We had my possible replacement Ishtar. We had Sumatra.
She's not your replacement. I hated her.
We had Aiden Paladin. We had Zell. We of course had Reading Ren.
Yay!
We also had Brockus, and we even had Schmeckel and myself. I was oddly enough here for the whole thing today, and I recorded every single moment of it.
And you
and now the stream's gonna be done, and you're gonna have to wait all the way until tomorrow.
Fuck you, cunts.
Tomorrow being tomorrow, I think being Monday.
We're done.
Gonna have
Get the fuck out. Fuck
Fuck
it.
you, cunts.
Close
Shut
it
the
up.
fuck up, Kadun. I'm chilling Brockus and Zell's show.
Oh,
Brockus, Zell, who the fuck you got tomorrow?
We don't got anybody because I don't know if we established this. I officially parted ways with Brockus. We split up. We were just fighting too much, and we hate each other right now. So we got to split up. But no, I left Love Your Mondays. That's just Brockus's thing now. I don't know if we want to announce what I'm up to after this Thursday.
If Zell has left Love Your Mondays, I would like to announce that Kadunt is the new second host of.
I'm down for this, dude. I'll watch.
Let's wrap this shit up.
I'll ask her whether or not she's willing to do so later. But we'll figure all that shit out later. Tonight we had.
I already did that. Just fucking close it up.
Kadunt already did that. Tonight we had the rest of. We're done with this shit, cunts. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck you.